Nansia abo adeshimaima mema mache ama makwaba de aba happy 98.9 FM so ebraso sano panu nsia kase ebo ne benada de ne so no ye de ba ne de beso mo na ansa na no betima kwakopie mu wo Facebook happy 98.9 FM obetimi ahwe nsem no de free ho sanso na happyghana.com ya kruche nsem de bigu ho no ma obetimi akokwa akokekan ama bibia nso etimi aye kamapa Wadaroma uju Facebook a share na afoforo enye bi nhwefa comment bra na yenkenkan emfama na bibia nso no entimi enye kama. Ensem ne doso na no pe na de bedi kase ebo ni mu bi akotene ne se panyini pa a wodi dom dodo na ni mu wo mrahye bedwafie mu yewura mahama yarega ne nei ode nsem utudwa echi ma o mayeti fido ehu behia se mpanfo wonum honum nyina be sore etimi aboa emempuntu nso etimi akoso wo honum sanso ana acting CJ wode nsemu tudwa echirima na ehu behia se lawyer fo num bi wo honum a ene wonum so ban mu dan na di ne enso ani kura wonum hwe se mu begyae se na be um bedan suban pa adi yade kasebo ni kwakopie mu ewo Japan manim na Japan manim na aba betodwa se wonum ato aba na wonum prime minister ne se emfa ho se na manyuko no wadi ntwonya de se obesori so efise Japan man wonum hie mpuntu ebusianse mi kan se mu ehu nam de ba besum sa no panu nsia kasebo happy 98.9 FM mi amaje bre ebeken kan kasebo edi ama mu yemme abena asante na asana no ma mi ntwam ho simama me ba me trensi minimu edi akyeremu Abusia mesanso da wasi emu akwa bebiem se wasungu so awuti anopa no nsia kasebo happy 98.9 FM afejibre na menche kasebo ni mu mfancho panyini pa wada dom dodo na no e wo mrahye bedwafie mo saye mrahye bedwani mamamfo awonum gina mu e wo boko central eyira mahama yarega enene wade nsem to empanfo awonum wo mayeti fidu mantemu nyina meche northern region se wonum ko mu humumpa se na be betimi aboa mampuntu ho nsensem so nso no etimi akoso e wo northern region ne mantemu ene nhyiemu ekwoso okokasaaye Northern Development Conference ase ana ode nsem otudwa echimenei ubepie mu ewo meti fidu mantema e kame esem na hyebedwafo nkwa won mo honom no omuye mako aduonu enso 57 a ebi wo Upper West Savannah Northern North East na afenso no Upper East Regional ehu behia se won beka omuhu abom emfa ho ene amanyoku a wonom ewo na na chozo anya ochirema anya no nkwa ene ya ade se mampanyina wotusi mampanyi John Dramani Mahama wono so efri omai etifido mantemu miche Northern Region eno nkoto nche Speaker of Parliament nso efri honoma wono nyina hu behia so wono beka omuhu abompa etimi aboa amampuntu etimi akoho na eno na chese wo cheche ni nsemu ano kasa ya de se mampanyi no dikan osagefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah wodi dwumedie bi ebaye ani efani 7-year development plan 1963 ana ode baye a mampanyi Rollins nso beto aso mampanyi John Dramani Mahama enso de Savannah as a relation development authority nso baye Ghana mampanyi na watwamu na nado danko Akufo-Addo enso the one district one factory baye na nsi ni nyina chimpom ni se eba be sha aboa pa amometi fidu mantemu Northern Region no eyekua ho nsensemetimi akoso a ehu behia se mampanyini ana afenso na hyebedwafo mako aduonu enso 57 no wonum nyina beka omuhu abom se na be ombetimi aboa amampuntu etimi abaho amamabunu ni mamfa wonum wo meti fidu mantemu meche Northern Region so no wonum etimi enye adwuma aye Ebusiane ojume die kra na mu na panyini pa woda dom kuma no anu yira Alexander afenyo marking so wonu su kopie mu ho no mu bi ene tamale na dwume die ne course atintitira na eda so no a conference of northern people leader and partners ana chese okopie mu wa ase bia ni nyina northern development conference no ase eno ana yira Alexander afenyo marking din nsem otudwa echirime nei ehu behia se mpanfo wonu mo meti fido mantemu nyina northern region region no wɔnom bɛka wɔn ho abɔ mpa atimi aboa ama mpuntuo nso atimi aba hɔnom wɔkyerɛm a ɛnɛ yi wobɛpie mu wɔ northern region ɛkame sɛ ba amammerɛ paa deɛ a ɛne wɔnom wɔ bi paa omamre efe esombo ache se obi ehu omamramra na omani age ho nso mpuntuo de aka kakra kyerɛ ma nei wobepie mu ɛwɔ northern region anuane a yɛdie mechi agriculture ho nsensem so wɔnom ko a no mutimi boa ma ɔman Ghana ɔha mabu pan aduanan 40% de omutimi boa ɔman Ghana ɛba anuane semu ɔkyerɛ ma yɛade sɛ tourism ho nsensem so kopie mu ɛwɔ northern region a ɛkɔso wɔ hɔ pan na ɛkame ayɛ sɛ ohia buburo age hɔ no mafa ɛne wo hwɛ communities ahodoɔ ni bia ohia buburo wɔ hɔ no no wode ba ɔha mabu pan a ɛne ɛduwɔtwe 80% communities a wɔnom wɔ northern region na kyerɛ ohia buburo age hɔ no mafa ɛno nkɔtɔnkye amanfo binom mu hɔ no nyade sɛ wɔnom nya nsu papa no ɛnkane ho nsensem na afei nso nwumesua ho nsensem ɛnhyɛ da nkoyia ɛho behia ɛsɛ mampanyi John Dramani Mahama na afei nso mpanyifo a wɔnom wɔ ɔmayɛtifi do mantem mom ɛbɛka wɔnom ho abom sɛ na bɛyɛ betimi aboa pa na ɛnyɛ sɛ bia abrɛ ne abrɛ bia wɔno ba no ma promise wɔ mu yɛba yɛbɛma mu sɛ yɛbɛyɛ mu sɛ na wɔnom nyɛ na mpanyifo ɛbɛma wɔ mu ani akɔ hɔ ɛnsɛm ɔde tu dwa no yɛntie bi
home to a mosaic of ethnic groups, languages, and the cultures living side by side. From the vibrant dances and music of its festivals to the timeless wisdom of its traditional leaders, the cultural heritage of the North is a treasure that must be preserved and promoted for future generations. This diversity is your strength. It teaches the values of tolerance, community, and shared identity as Northerners and Ghanaians. Economically, the North has long been the agricultural heartbeat of our country.
Eni awuti ye eye panyini pa wododom kuma anu Yero Alexander afenyo Mike so kopie mu otamale dwumedie bia na ekoso wo honom no anache so odi nsem we nyina atu dwachire me ho behia so o maiti fidomantem northern region no wonom behwe amampuntu etimi aba ho yentu akase ebo so emfama Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources ne wonom de nsem otu dwachire ma kame ayese manfo bebra wonom tu fo magudie wo man Ghana ha meche small scale mining galamse ahodo wo man Ghana ha no wonom chima nkofo bebre wo honom wonom ni license ntie wonom de hwehwemu kofi kopan ba begu akwan mu de kokko enei wonom ti committee bi ase wonom hwehwem se na be amanfo a wonom etu fo magudie wo man Ghana ha se ebi mo license no eye papa na se enye papa ne wonom so mu hwehwe mu no ene license ahodo a wonom de ama wo mu no 1278 wo man Ghana ha 316 pe na eye papa 962 de yade se enye papa wonom de nsem kwa ama wonom kirima omumu agesi bosome no ade toso en9 wonom mmra me piaso ye ona se enhihie biara na se ade bi ese wonom ye emu license ni di mu no wonom timi aye nya sa ade a wonom baje mu license afiri mu nsem na minister no Yero Emmanuel ama Kofibua ana so ade nsem utudwa echima we nyina ade a wonom de ehwe aboa ama wonom mutu fom agudi o man Ghana ha wo mfa kwan paso no wonom etimi etu ni nyina ase nsem ode tudwa no yentie bi
supporting the fight against illegal mining, Galamsey. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ghana Armed Forces have played significant supporting roles in the fight against illegal mining, Galamsey. We are not out of the woods yet as a nation, but there is hope because there is a political will at the very top. We have reviewed the fight against illegal mining and have worked with stakeholders to reform the fight. The National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, is a product of that review exercise. The recovery of several forest reserves early this year, which our forest guards could not venture, was led by the Ghana Armed Forces. Additionally, the Navy supported land forces in Operation Hall 2 to combat illegal mining along River Ankobra in the western and western north regions. The Navy's riverine operations along the Volta River, like Operation Oasis in Bui, also assisted in reducing the effects of illegal mining on the Black Volta. To strengthen security along Ghana's inland waters and riverine areas, government launched the Blue Water Guard training program in 2025 this year. The Blue Water Guard initiative aims to establish 24-hour monitoring of Ghana's water bodies.
A Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Yera Emmanuel Amakofibua, Anachesodin Semwena Etudra. Ebusia yetwaka se bono so edi amawa acting Chief Justice His Lordship Justice Paul Bofoboni aneni wode nsem otudwa echirima a lawyer for binuma wono mo man Ghana hanom pan suban wo mu dane di no ebi de time papa ehu behia se wono bejai se na be betimi aboa ama ya lawyer ho nsensem so nso na na se mranim ho nsensem so etimi akoso ewo man Ghana hanom ene ya de so kopie mu ewo UPS abra na law school for airpon wono ho anaso wo mu wi school no ane se wode nsem otudwa chirima na no da kopie mu ewo tema court a eya de se wono chi lawyer bia wono awia wono ankasa ne colleague lawyer wawia ne fun ana woto ama obi wo hono ma ewo tema court wono ma na se adane arehosem yie pa na sa adane asem se wi a wo chirema sa suban we nyina emmoa ema wono madwuma no entimi enkono ne no na chese wode nsem otudwa echirima lawyer adwuma no anasa atemo adwuma no enwa bi wo hono ma ese wono mo hwe ede eye adwuma de adesrede to school bi te se UPS na afensu nsuapon ahodo a wono tete lawyer for say wo emre wo honom no ene kasakire no wono mfanto omanim pa se na be betimi aboa ama wono so etimi adan suba pedi kochirema eyade se wono oye chairman ema disciplinary committee ema legal general legal council no ene nsema ya na bepie mu honom na ya na bi asefem pa se lawyer ni na chese de na ba bepie mu ho na chese ne ho nsem no eya asema enhye kran ede afutu ma a lawyer for wono mo man Ghana hanom nyina se wono mo nan suban pedi se na be betimi aboa mo madwuma no so etimi akonkan Yetuwa kasiyebo no so edi amawa Nkranza North District Chief Executive Patrick Efa anachese nei wode ensemo eko ama manfo ayefa won mo community police assistant ana afense no eye fire service assistant wode futu okwa ama won mo nyina se enei abra yefa wo ma kwakwaje ntete no won mo hwe so mo de mra be ye adwuma se na be ye betimi aboa na babeto dwa se youth employment agency won ma famabunu a wo mo kwakwaye adwuma e wo community police na afense no fire service se na be ye betimi aboa pa emma adwuma ho nsensem so etimi akoso o man Ghana hama mebuna wonum ni adwuma ye nso no wonum etimi anya bia ye nenu nenam so ma Yewura Patrick Efa ede nsem to wonum anim se abra wonum kwa akosua anaso mo kwa akoye training no wonum nan suban pedi na entimi muwa se ne be ya eye Nkranza ne mantem nso no wonum be mo dimpam na ode nsem to mema wonum animu nyina na se mema mo kwa akoye training nyina anim se wonum ntwe mu free eye nu bone ho obehu na se abrante na red ya bai wonum bia wochirima enya de so en wonum hu sa wombe pam afensu na bra ma no so kwa akwaje ntiti ebi no wonum twe mu hu mfiri pratwe basabasa ebe koso ewo ho se ne be beboa ama adesua na se training na wonum kwa akwaje motimi asua ne ye pa amiatimi afa wonum wo posi adwuma nim ana afensu fire service adwuma nim efutu ode ma wonum no yentibi
Therefore, every His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ho say yen kan kire mu say ne reset agenda no say ebe ye ya epegina mo eso ni nyina ne say mo nyina mo ye mabunu na eye na disuade hu no say obema unemployment rate no eso ate entity ya obenya no ha no wo yire wo ho na wo ye ni ya obesan akowani ya echensa mesremo yen pesa Nkranza North ni beko nachina obafi abraya unity tina emu akohia se yefrem na yekasa ede kirem usafo ochina na obepa try say dressing no e be decent unity about you say na system no so appeal na ankoye to say obi hu wa pe from the first phase okay when you hwe utimi hwe about you say share ne wire ohun wa pe consider to be a criminal ti mesrem girls no so said ye yesi kasa e wo nipa ho language bia be use bia na say polite and decent
eni awuti ye DC ogina mu mamanfo wonu mo Nkranza North Yewura Patrick Efa ana kyɛ sɛ ɔde afutuo nkyɛnkyerɛnkyɛ gu akwan mu ɛma mmabu na yafa wɔnom ɔmu hyɛ Youth Employment Agency ase sɛ wɔnom kɔkɔyɛ adwuma anaasɛ ɔmu kɔgye ntete police community police ana afei nso fire service emu sɛ na ɛbɛyɛ bɛtumi aboa ama nnwuma ɛnkɔ ɛni ɔman Ghana ha no so no wɔnom atumi anya adwuma yɛ na wɔwie ya pɛ ana wɔnom a yafa ɔmu bi nso no ɛde aseda nkyɛnkyerɛnkyɛ paa ɛma DC sɛ watumi de afutuo sei ɛde ama wɔnom nso nsɛm no yɛntie bi.
With the MPS, NDCS, several family, fire service, semi-conquer. We were school till 2019, this is the same year. NDC Abayan Basso, my family, Zoom fire service, semi-summer maybe, now Osumi Summer, I command. With the West Yakupo insurance.
We were school 2020, that was last 5 years. We applied for training college forms, pay 5 times. But this year, to Mama Bay, we apply for community police. I need na mesaka message say, but for him and this way, my GP say, Mahama, when the yellow dinner, when yes, I can yes, I police training.
The two young papas, Sassam Pepes, yes. As the PSC on Mamma Lordina, name and NBC, so Mamma in community police.
Every time I that, I'm on penny. Your mama, asibibre.
Any awuti ye a manfo binuma yafa wonum ewo Youth Employment Agency se wonum konko enkogentity ewo community police na afenso no fire service ana chese wonum de ase de PSC mama mpanyini se watimi afa wonum sa ye to akase ebo no so e de ama odi asia sai kwahene a wono ewo achim ebuakwa traditional area eno ewo apoye mantemu da sebre Dr. Chum Ampofo a otoso mienu enene wone pragea wonum mutwi pragea wo honom no onu di enhyiemu nkyinkyirenti pa hyehye so ni nyina ne se na etu wonum fo se ebo wonum abaso se efiri se wonum efiri pragea adwuma ya si ene etimi aboa pa ama galamsi ahodo a ekoso ewo apoye mantemene eto atimi atwa mabunu ni fa etwi pragea ni bi eno nkoto nkyin a eni enuboni ana mabunu ne enom no ene etu atimi atwa ede afutuo ma wonum se wonum hwe entimi mua emu modwuma wo mu yemu ntimi nye ne yie neno anada sebre Chum Ampofo den se mutu dwakirima efiri se pragea adwuma ba yi ene etimi aboa pa ma apoye mantem dwadefo ma na etimi aboa ma edwade ho nsensem sonso no etimi atumpon yie pa efiri se obi ho no kofa ne ma na se okokoto ne ma na obehia pragea no na ese wasesa asane ma na gumu a neno na tese na wie ye no wode afutuo se ma wonum so munu huni se na be betimi aboa pa ma obi furu ne pragea na enkame aye se kankan ana tese ekunipa no ewo pragea nim na emum no wonum de omhuni e beboa wonum ye pa amomanya customers bibre futu anana de ma wonum no enti bi
ene de etimi ne emadu na eye omutwi pragea no me no mashia ya bubo ni ma bebre hu me ma no bi se eso mutimi organize omhuye na omo organize omhuye no ene sei so mu na atimi kabom omo forme ti omo pe leader edoma no na omo hwe na motototo omo ni maye cause pragati for the ohwa amanka ebe ha dreamers abano mabu bebi ana munya ejuma nye bebre nya pragia omo de ejuma omo nya no say ya atwitwitwo omo fi sa na man kitikiti se no boni mum ene galamse ni ade atwitwo omo fi efi ho nti no we decided say that day let us have from na mo ba me about 70 or 80 na mo na atwitwo nkomo eti omo how ene mo bia ebitim de abo omo ebi ni say city pe designated area emo no mutimi very organized this is na GPRT for your taxi for na personal you know say personal hygiene honesty ka honesty and say ebi obi asa ka ma we ja bibia to ka ma catch on say at least bibi say sia omutimi enya leader omutimi de agena ka command leader no
eni awuti ye eyese kwahene a wo achim ebuakwa traditional area eye Dr. Chum Ampofo ana a otoso mienu no de nsemu nyina etu dwa busia yemfa kasebo ni nkonko pie mu ewo nkrofo amaso de kasebo ni kwako pie mu nkrofo amaso de a ne Japan manim na ba beto dwa se na no kwasi ada ba wonom toye no ene LDP amanyuko no wonom adi ntwo na ese wo mu seat no yade se mako miensa ana wonom hwere nam so ama prime minister wo honom de nsemu tu dwa echiri manya de se obesi emfa ho se na manyuko no adi ntwo nya de se obesi na ni nyina ne se hu behia se wo behwe atoto niema yi ama Japan manim no enema timi ai akoso panwuma eni honom na afenso no ye dwade ho nsensem a enko iye no ebusama nyina nsem we so na memfa no pa no nsia kasebo a mede besom wo ewo happy 98.9 FM so no memfa ni nyina ensi wo han kasebo nim no ensem a woti ye no ebi ni say 98.9 Yura Mahama ya regarding nsem otudwa echi ma northern region hu behia se mpanfo wonum ho nyina beka wo mu ho abom se na be betimi aboa amempuntu nso etimi akoso ewo honom na yede kasebo ni kopie mu Japan manim aba betudwa se aba wonum toye no prime minister chima emfa ho se na manyoko edi nkuguo ya de se wo behwe aboa na de se obisi ebusanse mi kan se mehu na mde besum sa no pano nsia kasebo happy 98.9 FM ya meje breaking kan kasebo edi mamu yeme abena asante me sorry so ama happy morning show atwaso edi amamo makramo
Etoda, wo kontimi do champagne pa, nanso wusike kura wo no. Na ye juice ene betumi ato. So pese wo kura mre kura sika. Na udwumadi a wudie, wonum a wonim dwumadi no. Etimi dima wo ewo bra wode emfidie a esefata edi dwuma ne dia. Ene ha ho kura. Isanze E-Productions. Ya be sort you out. Frey. So open studio and production equipment rental. Emfidie a ye di twa sene ahodo nyina no. Ye betimi dibia famo. Corporate and social videography. Se wudi udwumabie a wo pese otwe egun homa so. Frey. TV commercials, se wo ton wo niema na pese amanfo ehunu e wa kasamfoni so. Frey. Documentaries, frey. Photography, any live streaming, se wo twamfoni kama pa. Anaze wo di dwumabie na pese brekro no mu a obi biara etimi hunu. Frey. Why nyom na pese oye nyom no ho akasamfoni a. Frey. Jingles, IVR, any voice-over production, Frey, short and long film, Frey. Yetete phone humanie 0242 755 323 ana 0302 254 858 ana se hwie kira kwan yewo Asylum Down ye ben Happy 98.9 FM. E-Productions, capture the moment. Happy 98.9 FM atiafwe. Mumbi nyina ye mochi na yanko abosokai. Jumadia chenchrenche kesia Happy 98.9 FM. Ya wada echatwo e obusumi biamu no. Ya de babonten. Metre Happy on Wheels. Afei enadru abosokai. Ewo Ablekuma Central. Empeswade so. Kai jumadie ebekoso 31st of July 2025. Ewo abosokai 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Right, ni yentrasi na enkomo ahodo a ewo abosokai no. Yentrasi ni yeni, yentrasi ni yeni MCE ene empanyimfo ahodo a wo mo kabie wo mu ewo Ablekuma Central constituency. Yeni omo eni kita ho e. Yensua de emfa free the Ghana National Fire Service way. Ni anyinchiremu from Save the Eye Foundation. Kayo, Jumadie ne bekoso 31st of July. Yawada abosokai 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And you home free mu. Happy on Wheels. Happy your on voice, wheels. Your power. Your power. Happy 98.9 FM atiafwe. Mumbi nyina ye mochi na yanko abosokai. Jumadia Chenchenche Kasia, Happy 98.9 FM. Yawada, a chatwo, our Busumi Biamon, yet the Babontain, Metre, Happy on Wheels, a Fay and Andrew a Bosso kind, our Ablekuma Central, and Peswanaso, Kaijumadi, Abacoso, 31st of July, 2025, our Abosso kind, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Right, Niantrasi, na enkomo ahodwa, ewa Abosso kind, Yantrasi Nieni, Yantrasi, Niani MCE, and Empenyimfa ahodwa, womu kabia womu, ewa Ablekuma Central, constituency, Yenyomu Eninkita Hue, Yensuadie, Enfant Free, the Ghana National Fire Service Way, Nianintremu from Save the Eye Foundation, Kayo, Jumadi Nebekoso, 31st of July, Yawada, Abosso kind, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And you home free mu. Happy on Wheels. Happy your on voice, wheels. Your power. Your power.
For all the news updates, trending topics, good music, and unbiased analysis of various issues, listen to the Happy Morning Show on Happy 98.9 FM. We are your morning companion.
So person tin samwe bo chiko bremai ewo my kronkron Ghana mu enyompa enim pensem mu etaso a ene dabia for kasa fidie ne to Happy 98.9 FM na tie the Happy Morning Show efri anopa no nsia ekopem nonkron efri juada ekopem efiada. The Happy Morning Show, we are your morning companion.
Of a major promise by President Mahama, the National Service Emergency Response Readiness Program will begin in a few weeks. The basic military and emergency response training is a 6-week orientation training scheduled to run in 2 batches from August to October this year. 10,000 National Service volunteers are expected to kickstart this initiative with plans to increase the number substantially next year. They are volunteers, it's not compulsory. The areas of training will include basic military orientation, first aid, basic life support, disaster or fire management, nationalism and patriotism, loyalty and discipline, leadership, mentorship, and physical training, among others. The core objective of the program is to equip the National Service personnel with the relevant skills in security, disaster preparedness, and public safety. It must be clear, however, that the training program is optional.
For all the news updates, trending topics, good music, and unbiased analysis of various issues, listen to the Happy Morning Show on Happy 98.9 FM. We are your morning companion. For all the news updates, trending topics, analysis, Happy 98.9 FM.
Spirit number is anyway, memonium no kakra, memosajum is as the spirit has spirited the spirited song from a year Selena Boateng. I'm watching more about from Happy Morning Show is when I pay. Rapapa Fatisha Boli Atanaze, Principal Papa Imban Atanaze, Young Korean Congo forward the update from Ghana Meteorological Agency in Family. Namwa muti yenye na pay fan ene enchi akesia no emfamamo nenka se damasio se dan danya na pabia mutintin firi ni to Happy 98.9 FM na muti ensempa enkomopa de di mpunto ni nkoso eba na mamusa wo busuani bia ye na adwene se opese wo ko asra eye nyumakuo no mu anasa hobambo nyumakuo no mu kwambe na ofa so wo koye wofa kwampa so anase mukotua bibi dima obi se obi muamo emfa no nkonkose baabi esanze nra defense minister bra accountability series okotina simpi so a wodi anamonto no dwumadi a na so ye na die ede tudwa no ensema hodo bebre no ana okan ye mebo bia kirew na wo kiremu a ye woni pakuo bia ye form so mo nkọ asra adwuma num na omo hwe mu no na emu dodo no ade eye enhyehyeye omo di gu ho se e wo se otimi edi so ana se utimi eduru ho no pii no ade omo nuru ho pii no ano enuru ho enso emame busa me ho se so se sa na ye emfie dodo a etwam no dia na ni na nipakuo ben ene yade makwa akohye ahobambo adwumanum anase asra adwumanum big question. But I will take you back to somewhere around 2015 in the history of enlistment and as a recruitment into our security service. Na ebinsi da enlistment fraud on a mass scale. Emza me kan odu ani abubua kwa kohunu bi. And this is about 10 years ago. 10 years, some 5-6 months ago. And as I say, me bo abakosem ne kakra wo ho me bo abakosem ne wi a obeti ase but yenko Ghana metu ho ne yenko fa weather update no ewie mu nsam se de beye sonhuru edum ye no odi anim wo no me mfa ho nsam ne bi mfa mai na no pay live on Happy Morning Show Ghana metu se men country TV say na no pay bo modi am piem wo mai anafo fam ha aw ne nsu no to kakra na jai ene to kakra na jai eno no ne yefra ne nwenwen no na sabre na yewo eye yekrumu a yekwa fom nwenwen basa no a obohuna na aka kire menko na asimu a obedo eno kura tim a wodo mo tini bibia aya ne omo friend kwase abefo so wa adwunu mu no enju no ntokese entie ne obesimu akọ obesimu abeduru be konsiri ba ko mienu no wa yese etwom wafo ti Ghana metu se ena no pay obo man na afọ fom a ebe nwenwen kakra to anate sa okọ oman etifi fam a wotirimu a yade nsuo no be munananim emunananim ene anopai ti okọ oman etifi fam a nkuruto ahodo ebiti se yendi tamale bole damango bogatanga na lergu ene wa yade a nsuo no be munananim emfimfini fam yehwe ne mu se emia bi wo ho a ensuo no ebegugu kakra ena emia bi ho nso a yehwe ne mu se ensuo no ebemu na nanim ewia e wo bra premu ato no na obo man etifi efamu a okoba bi ti se wa ene ne mpotam a yehwe ne mu se ensuo betimi atoto ama wiemu abobom sanso na yendi ensuo beto ama wiemu abobom na mia hodo no aka e wo man etifi famu ne de ewia ebe yineti no abokakra no akote obokakra no akote saa woman emfimfini famu nkurutuo bi etise kofodua achem oda kumase ene ne mpotam eye ketekrachi ene ne mpotam yehwe ne musensuo betimi agugu e wo saa emia ahodo kai se saa emia no ene yenkwaya ahodo yensuo ene emepo ahodo no nyina no ewo na ukopiemu anwumre e wo bra no nsia abono de a Ghana metofo echirimu a oman mfimfini famu yehwe ne musem yahodo bebre no an nsuo no beto sanso na kopiemu oman atifi famu a mia bi ti se wa na lergu bogatanga ene yendidie yehwe ne musem nsuo betimi atoto na mom oman anafo famu de Ghana metofo echirimu anwumre no yade a yehwe ne musem nsuo no ebemunum na nanim ewo mia bi ti se aplawo enkran kaso a Cape Coast ena takrade axim enso eka hoyi ene se de wiemu ensemo ebeye donhwere edu mienu edi animu no na kek amejake wono ena ohwe wiemu kruchin semigu nkrata so ewo Ghana Matthew otu bi epetenye edima ya yenso yafa ya bohu dawru ede ama etiefo ene ahwefo ene anopa kesema bako adunu enum na nonson abo ena anopa yemfa do bokrata hodo na anopa abadwomu no etifi nsem de bi mfamre tiefo ne ahwefo ewura papa fa teacher Eboli Prince Obapo kwa yim brown eye crowd abitafo. Good morning. Good morning.
Pacho dollars ne wen.
Dollars ne wen say no idea hu nkom. Say dollars ne dey Bank of Ghana say the dollars. Ewo ho. So the Bank of Ghana is saying that's the claim from Bank of Ghana. If you look at almost statement number 2, and also the IMF has also confirmed that indeed the Bank of Ghana has one way or the other issued the forex support of about $1.4 billion into the system. In the dollars, they claim by the Bank of Ghana, and they say the dollars.
I say commercial banks.
Of course, commercial banks.
So the
question should be directed to the commercial banks as to where the dollars are.
No, because
Bank of Ghana says, and if for the record, Bank of Ghana has said, say, or the dollars, commercial banks, and so where the money moves from the commercial banks to the final point, so the linkage between commercial banks, anyone more mujisika, it's saying, that's where the issue is.
Fatima Dan for be koye ni PhD. Na ohia dollars kakra.
0.9.
Okay, unse Fatima no pay drew circle be dollar pound so
yeah, ujina na wo
sisenska na menya okra je kra de akomo bi. Sefa onipa na ko banks a onya bi. Oko banka onya bi. But Fati oya attempt at the black marketer onya bi oho. Meanwhile a whole rate any bank rate different. Meanwhile the bank rate so na aye budget.
Of course, it be a bank rate 10.30
10.34.
Of course.
And no the aye budget.
But the black market 13.20
Yes. Meanwhile on also budget awaye no and a tight budget pa. 10.34. And look, the issue with my issue with Bank of Ghana is that if indeed you have released dollars to the commercial banks, and the commercial banks hold the almost beton this interbank rate of 10.30 or 34 now, then the Bank of Ghana should do something about it because they are the regulator. Bank of Ghana regulate the commercial banks. So what I say, and if indeed if the claim by the BOG vis-a-vis the IMF report no of the amount of money sir BOG they are releasing into the system, then they cannot be said say I will go to the commercial bank na minya dollar ni bi ento. And we all know say look, businesses depend on whether some benya forest e dia koto omo niema ese omo de koto.
True.
So look, maybe I'm being selfish because it be abem me enti na make ho asem. So what I say, but what about that businesswoman at Fati's favorite place Mokola? Ono ohia dollars ansa no akwa ne niema e de aba o pebi de akọ e de akodwa so akofa ne niema ba onya bi. What about that your friend or wa aboso kan Sefah-Danquah no wa aboso kan a ono nso ope dollars e de akwa ne spare parts.
And mamentia techi na memfa chance ma bright
mempese mebo gutafo din
because gutafo din commandra.
Yes, and mempese mebo mudin for personal reasons. So at I say enti mempese mebo mudin. But look, it's not enough. Say Bank of Ghana because ye the dollars egu krum enti mo per dollar mo ko commercial banks. Na ye ko woni e be report ma mo say bi ni ho a, what do you do? Sefa, as a regulator, what do you do?
You need to take the action and check where the monies are. You need to trace the money.
Because you can't release that much, but ye kwa ye nyabi. Enti sa madam for now opeso ko school a ni school no e twen no a ono so per dollar e de akono. Wakan sinsin mu. How do that person no? How do you explain this to onipa no? Say Bank of Ghana so sika ewo or the sika co banks. And in particular, you can commercial bank and yet the bank commercial bank all those banks both indigenous banks and private foreign banks are called commercial banks,
of course.
I don't want to believe say it's because of the interbank rate now. Banks person much say a form dodo. Now banks where there Sefah questions na maybe so banks energy sikano airco black market na black market for fati me pache obuam ni musa so munyo musika na we krachi ya na no pay ugina ahomrachi more 6 am ugina circle na o me packet kesi wa obusa say ye be $60 no sa ono ne dollars ne pounds no we dey maka alata for bro for dollars sa dollars no any pounds ne kuta no onya awenfa Sefah.
Let's not also forget to say
ebe you
of course some of them omo mujina kwan ho ye omo ye change money. Yes, some of them do move volumes. But let's not also forget to say na edis can come on. Some of them get their monies from us because person or bank because who feel it's all banker like you are holding dollar ebia uboga biaba wa ma 200 b wa ma 100 b how many of us go to bank? How many of us? Nipa say they could $100, $200, or even $1,000 or muko bank. And one is how they are first cycle. And to the aqua man or no. So when $1,000 wo. As a nipa do na no. The apart from businesses or pay lower rates. Into no bank ne bebo omo pay security. Into bank ne bebo or more transfer is cano. It's not like they are just going to change dollars and collect it and go. They are changing it in an account that will be transferred somewhere and only a safe momo. But na you could tie a small ones a year cause a we give the money to the people. We give the money to them.
But Fati, what I'm saying now, these questions, and I mean these are legitimate questions, legitimate concerns that Ghanaians are raising with regards to Kwanya Faswa. You're dealing with our forex. Question is, processes are ofomu ansana what me as senska or our respective commercial banks and it's saying.
Exactly.
Is it that easy?
Because last time we know because it's senska. Our bank, and almost only accounts. Our bank want no means some.
No, it's not right.
There be only account want to means some no. And to a few are not calling. Only the far airport.
So I want
not that depending need dollar account. Like you don't hold an account
at the bank
with that bank. Not dollar account.
So what me as that dollars need there. Now was a bank krona do sikane kono. You need to have an account.
That was
the person say
as explanation a bank no a particular bank no edemano. But me dey ache several years.
Okay.
Because it's a dollar our bank. I just walked in and almost a summer me. What must I say? Because now Mako South Africa aba. South Africa no. I just saw cause a bank. I just said what was a bank. Ombeje wo ID. I just what was a bank. Ain't no. Mesh me buy no. Kakra na kai o me hono my dream no. Say I feel na $1,000 first time.
And me call bank. So it's all bank.
But me ni beti no. And I'm who say
So why you on
cry. Cause ne wo low. Ain't no. Is it that how many people can just walk into any bank so bikuta dollars me ba besesa?
Okay. So if the processes banks is seamless, I am sure say a lot of people will be willing to go to the bank because Hokra is safe.
Let's not also forget unless you are moving volumes, who pay security and safety. You know how much money a amount for one modern circle. Do you know how much money a teacher amount for home data circle ho? But I know who so say, hey, na me kona so be whom me no mu chase me. And a bank no nkwa tam $100,000.
Debbie.
No mo nsesa emfa ngu bag mu ma o say gina fako.
Of course. I mean, account to account.
Exactly. But a boki there with the $100,000 or be package Ghana must go more
amount
in cities. Now they are
Sir and communion in baby. Because if you say we are talking about this issue, we are not going to finish today. Yamfa Chronicle, the Bocrat and Chassis and Anna Pay. Mama, your Facebook for my fan as a case from my and Chia and Anna Pay. Never been one or more, Mr. Mofancheme. But Fatianfa Chronicle, the Bocrat.
Yeah, the Chronicle, the Bocrat and Chassis, they are 1 Peter 2:9. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession. And yeah, I am a chosen. I am a chosen. I am a chosen. You are chosen. You are a chosen. 38% of NPP delegates endorse Brian. No, Ewahanum. Chosen. Surge in illegal export of raw rubber worries stakeholders. And also Ewahanum. Minister threatens to revoke 962 small-scale mining licenses to combat galamsey. Court discharges accused person standing trial over killing of Josephine Asante. And also, Ewo Ahanum. Saso and acting CJSA choose dialogue before litigation. And no Ewaha 14 arraigned over possession of suspected narcotics and unlawful assembly.
CJSA then choose what?
Choose dialogue before litigation.
Some people don't understand what dialogue is.
Why?
There are a lot of people, their language is Metro Manson. Yes, their language is Metro Manson. What is you bet me synchronat
and opinions where opinion onim mbremu so ka kire wo say
me see no no me ntia
ebe ya tina se nakasa
she
na nkwatwum obi a be akotena se kokasa adekro na mpo a wo pe na wo kwatwum akoma nso akokot no ebia nipa ne beti ase na wayama
obi a one kasa oka no aka bi oka si no aka di
and I just obi a one spirit hia ti agi so okodi na kire ho and yes one spirit hia de ene kwan bia so mumbe hia neutral spirit ama na bim enu be court no 11 arrested, others at large for attacking Russia palace. And no ewa almost say 11 individuals including a fetish priest, a driver, businessman, a motor rider, and electrician have been arraigned before the Dansuman Circuit Court for conspiring to violently remove a traditional chief at Russia, a suburb of Accra. Meka for no meka say palace be a Russia memu. And I'm say anagana for mkoye there or wow to me okay. Other stories any ewo a year the Chronicle no emu ene anopei. GJ Western Region launches groundbreaking transformative CSI initiative. Minister Nelson rallies thousands to work for Western Region development. Surge in Akai Edadatobe after Bax Youth Innovation Awards. 260,000 cities as startups to pitch winners. Yanko Nigeria memo. Farmers lament rise in fertilizer prices. Alleged money laundering. Court refuses Yaya Bello's travel request. Police probe attack on Anambra PDP governorship candidate. Tunde Onakuye set new Guinness World Record with 64-hour chess marathon. And also Ewaha, IGP to meet protesting retired officers over pension demands. We Nigeria memoir Nigeria diary no.
Yesterday I was reading a document by Ise, and one of the projects Omo Ediomani Esiso is how we can care for the aged.
Okay.
And in this country, there is no policy of a sort how we can care for the aged. I mean, we have a blanket social protection emra anaasɛ hyɛ egu akwam for example ebia sɛ ebitimi amom free health care ne de keke ho. But the proper document and as a proper policy targeted at a crime between at taking care of the aged. I think that one of these days we may have to have a conversation around that. Ghanaian Times of Bokrata, Ekuta Prince of Bapua in Brown and pay Yanko.
Mepacho Yemfa Ghanaian Times and Twaso. New era in national development, military ready to execute government projects. Defense Minister Enrei Otisi Simpieso na Okasano. And I say a idea the Defense Industries Holding Company DIH Osino ayer krado pa ene oni aban ebe kambum na ne project ahoro no the Ghana Armed Forces ene be di animu pa no my unim se Kwadwo saade ebi asipen emre bi atwam no na ye military no enipa bi wo mu a na omo nso ye de omo various project ahoro ene ade no ena owura Dr. Edward Kofi Omane Boama ono ena defense minister okaso sade no asan ababiem ene aban ede nani asiso pa oba beye na sanso ena mia menua ba ama tachiwa apedu agema wo Kufuridua report se His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ordering ne nsra hwe no akopie mu ewo pie mantemu no kopie mu ewo pie mantemu no eno mampani ekopie mu ewo Afam Plains ne ho eno koka so ene de asem daba pa omanfo mu ha muntie na muntie ne yie pampam cho mumbie masum na muntie ne yie ni nyina ne se project ahoro ewo Eastern region nyina mibewie ni nyina de muama ban wose de muama ban ehya ase ni nyina muama ban hya ase wanwie nyina mema ban mibewie ni nyina na miwie de na bridge na eda river afram so na ase no meba beye eno 3.6 kilometers bridge ewa afram ensuo ni so omampani se obeye ose owie pe obeye 100 kilometer road network no wa bie ho nyina na ne ni nyina ose wo yesade we wie pe ni nyina no obebie regional obe promote regional integration obe boost agriculture and afi nso said the ho no ebetimi attract investment into agro processing
me say me ntwa me say
ma sorry ama no pay
ma yenko se mampani yesade no yenko nkotena. Yes. Yanko from Plains. All we are trying to do is establish an agribusiness.
Yes.
Organization and national institution. That's all that we want to do. Yanko BBA. Because that particular plane no kwana betimi feed Ghana. Hong Kong. Yan say tinko yemfa say bia yekobuno Mantemu yeko
Afram Plains
just Afram Plains within the Eastern region can feed Ghana.
Yes. Now Kwadwo assembly si ewo Northern Ghana ese me bosso enano pay. Two schools clash in Tamale, several properties destroyed. Fati school mienu and sa school mienu nyina happen minim sa school mienu nyina because baby a me ko Tamale a metena no e ho na sa school mienu nyina ewo. Na ni nyina ne se omo share wa ne safati ne no na akasa kakra ebae na akasa na ebae mpo enye se bia school ni baako ekonya akasa according to Ghanaian Times story no nyina se ade a asem no da hodeda ase ya asem e da hodeda na
ayese bola
suja sefa ene Monday eye nure ye na renew clashes ne no ene school no war school no baako war no school fu ai war na gu
omadwiragu
na omudwiri war ne gu ye na ene abotoi omoto bo papa me hu school fu to bo ti se school yi mienu a
omo David ma
to bo pa ene enu nti no school na dwapade school ni mienu adwapade de school fu yi asɛ no kra we obeka se owofo no na antete ne bayi enti na we yaba na enye den ye de be hye awofo na Kwadwo ansuha school baako nso a ɛno nso ɛwɔ the Upper East region. Bolgatanga East District of the Upper East region. Your friend Zuarungu Secondary School. Kwadwo ɛne nso school no yatum. Tuwa yatum nyina ne sɛ mobile phones be yirai. Mobile phones ne yirai no. Ɛna nkrɔfoɔ de ɔmo ni bu nkrɔfoɔ mienu bi sɛ ɔmo na ɔmo afa mobile phone no. Ɔmo kan na ɔmo sɛ hwɛ baabi a yɛfiri nti na mo ka sɛ yafa mobile phone yi ɛna ɛyɛ nte ase ɛna ɔmo tisi krom ɛna ɔmo kɔ frɛ ɔmo busuafoɔ ɛne ɔmo nafofoɔ ɛne ɔmo a ɔmo nyinaa belong to one tribe, ethnic tribe, ɛna ɛne ɔmo ba school mu hɔ ɛne ɔmo ahye ɔmo touch dormitories touch school no adwapadeɛ amani the regional security head on the minister no and they were to school no to school
acting CJ Bafuboni when omuye moot court bi ewo school bi and okopia say no kasa no say na say lawyer for amaba no answer minim ade ka mo a moye ma adwin say mobile law school cry in the first place na nka lawyer de so you obi a wo integrity wo di wo huni se na be amanfo betumi a trust wo di o mo asem abasa wo be obegine maka na mo nhwe asem o se de ye ne wanwa kra ne se eye tema court lawyer bi a wo ho omukoso ni mu a oton phone ne ye phone ben a phone na ni colleague phone na eyere aye e wo court ho ono ankasa so e ka ho na ye chin na ye hwehwe obuama kwa happyghana.com na kokan o se lawyer ni omuso ni pay mu wa bra auto mobile phone Techno Spark
lawyer
auto na phone ni ye phone ben na ya de agya wukuta phone na auto de asankan phone bia ho eye phone ben a eye phone na ni colleague lawyer omu wo court ho eyira ya ono de na auto phone e ka ho na omu hwehwe
Fati asima kankan ni
mamenka wo brofo mu referencing a disturbing incident at the Tema Court, where a lawyer was caught attempting to sell a stolen mobile phone belonging to a colleague, despite having participated in the search for the missing phone.
Lawyer no.
And no, where we are phone no one side you much no mo hwehwe. Onim baby a show. And no mo hwehwe we almost say I dey baby adu dey. Ayera na ayera. And no sign chan who no koton amobi na ekoso ni mu lawyer
asem de
na lawyer phone who koton ne saying lawyer where the acting CJ na anu an kan yo Messi Endra mesre sa arabia mu hwe lawyer
ko law school ben no
hey
Ojo go law school ben no my ho ka and be called to the bar
consumer complaint drop as PURC steps up action. We someone Dr. Shafiq Suleiman on executive secretary Edema PURC and the IGP Telecel CEO NAMU honorary doctorate. Me pamacho GTEC se men kan kire mo se muntimi fem frem ho. Enti owura IGP.
Enti the tia no
Christian you
there was a point of receiving the honor.
And now keke.
Oh.
Yen fro. Me pamacho
they take on you.
Say area
omon find a way.
Hey.
They should find a way to allow people to use it.
Yeah, you new super see weather update.
And chemu beba. Say hey media na nye school dey ni bi o ya cheme. My find way.
But yaza. Ya ga someone na.
Chiti DJ munyano.
See, yeah. The point is that you see.
Yes, and trofo ani asoso saa niam ne so a.
And again.
Who you then refer to because ora Hassan Ayarega. And now yet here. Ontimi nkyerɛ yɛn sɛ uko University of Cape Coast. Uko University of Ghana.
Yes.
Oda so University of Ghana. Me ko AUCC. But set time no. Na affiliated to University of Ghana. Set time no mo chata. Intimate me akasa me ko University of Ghana. Owura Hassan Ayarega ontimi nkyerɛ University of Ghana ha.
what I'm saying is,
Fati, one ko university, utimi yawo PhD.
Has he come to say why any PhD?
Yes.
Also why also on your honorary.
He's made a public claim. With thesis, you know, or yeah, political science, political tolerance. Ono papa behavior. And you say or dissertation, no, if focus on the topic bang.
O finance need there.
O finance need there. Or the enna, or chinechi sa.
Oh, okay. Oh, me can say school be na a friend in the board.
Adia bolare di year no pa. Still out. That's who holding the so a doctor.
Okay.
Eyami ngwa kura.
Okay. Afina Matias.
Fatipa.
What I'm saying is that, say university pon Papa, Ephraim, now with a doctorate. What is the point if you can't? There is no way to use Sa Anano.
I believe that there should be a way to distinguish between.
That's what I'm feeling. Otherwise, then
there's no way. There's no way.
I'm saying
otherwise, then what's in it?
There should not be.
Otherwise, then what is in it?
You can only call yourself and write and respond to same when wako school every.
Obi wa ni nyuma wa ye over a period of time.
It's France.
And no,
it's France.
And no. Onipa na juma na wa ye is equivalent to. Obi wa ye consistent in a particular.
There is nothing like equivalent to
over a long period of time. Onipa na ye well recognized in that particular area, and so. University be bet me afena guidance okay. Yeah, but about because of your consistency in this area and the fact say you are acclaimed. But the point that I'm trying to make is that the university must find a way to distinguish between honorary doctorate and people who have studied to attain that particular height.
So bana be kachire ya Hassan Ayarega kachire en say odie eye honorary. I say now or the certificate be about to Facebook. You know who deceive the public.
Yeah. Mama for daily graphic.
Mama we so okay. Mama last one we. Na Kwadwo me mfingi. The Volta Regional House of Chiefs enre omo yen sentrofo nhiem. Sefa na enye development a ekoso ana enkoso ho asem na omo kan. Omo se eni omo mabunu a ewo region ho no. Their involvement in marijuana farming
farming
almost
and I say be almost supply a pharmaceutical company
but is there there's the regulation is not even
now can say
so it's strange and obi o acres be 100
into the coin.
The acres 100 no.
Into the coin.
On funny you weed no.
Or the
okay.
Or the bay or the beer bunch.
Not the
body, not the
or there could be infini. And it will be difficult for you to actually
to see.
See say and I said no. A brand
for voter region says Sadi and a home pie. Me Bruno Monchimo home.
A brand going for daily graphic double cratano emunse be informative for. Was the chiefs can't negotiate sold lands. Justice was said to Justice of the Court of Appeal. And then they would say, as I say, they kind aton, Pacho, or your hen anyway, they kind aton as na. You cannot call the person back as Brani International inside into whom you maybe a bonam de mano, many answer in the Mefabo from Famro Debbie or Sani Manu, and ya debate me. I believe not violence, police reviewing viral videos to identify culprits. Ogokata fetoso do miensa of the daily graphic double crata na no paya e omo echire mu se de course oblekuma north and person so bra na ekwa akoto aba e wo ho na afei ansa na aposifo wo mo nhwehwemu na won ede emze we enra de na ode ato no we enra and say ne de na me de ma kama pa anti daily graphic 22nd of July 2020 that's it thank you. And the 37,000 candidates write licensure exams, page 28. And no GHS steps up autism support, finalizes community-based plan, Director General. And no decision we have to a daily graphic double crat and moon some be. I don't know.
The National Enquirer warning: Defense Minister to violent chieftaincy agitators. 12,000 forces personnel to be recruited. Court orders Zoom Lion to pay over 464,905 cedis to dismissed workers. NIB bounces back, record 74.38 million cedi profit in half year 2025.
How?
Arrest anyone.
Arrest
anyone obstructing anti-galamsey operations. Muntaka to security agencies. Saso and a galamsey fight. 962 small-scale mining licenses to be revoked as land minister gives 2 weeks ultimatum. And I say land minister's 2 weeks ultimatum ends on August 4. We the National Enquirer.
Mpacho for daybreak and twaso ewaha. Brian Echampon commands 37.8% support among MPP delegates into the Abanono 37%. Hey, any say Urano okokra Brian Echampon banner headline missing weapons national security wounds and I say owns guns not Ghana Armed Forces and defense minister and this science on by I say a two be ayera Kwadwo na say two no ayera no enye Ghana nkrofo bi say Ghana Armed Forces for two and the minister no e dia ba say enye omo say national security is under interior ministry yes omo ena say two no eye omo dia GPHA marketing managers medal AG frees accused persons Mubekaya the late Josephine Tando Asante Fatiasemi ba say 2022 ho baby and now 2023 ho baby and asasemi ba ene accused persons chichi omo nyina AG say omo nko na omo mfa omo ho enkodi afi omo be chinkrofo foforo gold board to roll out traceability system in 2026 FBI completes counter-terrorism training for National Investigation Bureau. Isan say NIB no say a conflict we nye bank no we national security. Na bank no almost say first half of profit
and
because this is the banker. Over 6 years, almost making profit that.
They were at the brink of collapse. At the point in time, the government promised of investing as much as 2 billion Ghana cedis
in fact, Senanka enya aban banker, anka banker
because there were also talk another conversation around a possible measure either with ADB and I say Ghana Commercial Bank. Ghana Commercial Bank conversation, no, we don't want to take that responsibility.
Asset and liabilities. Until a year and a half year 2025. Make it that much.
Nobody knows a year and some they go Kwamu and Saturday to me about the name. Remember the New Republic
74.3 million Ghana cedis. Half year.
Half year.
No, I
me sure. And I want to ask you.
Me sure.
A brand
I come back over house.
Back on the Manenka. A New Republic said Baumia's 2.1 billion Ghana cedi G40 scandal, kickback scheme, monumental losses and abuse of processes. Scandalous cathedral saga, Kwadwo government dash 15.7 million to Ghana cedis to David Ajayi. Brutal audit report reveals. Hope returns to Blair Kuso as Mahama breaks ground on critical sea defense project after nearly a decade of inaction. Alabi's impersonators busted in defrauding scheme. Mahama pledges free SHS in private schools. Atachia Dam's client says he won't impose himself. Drama unfolds in 49 million Ghana cedi embezzlement case. We the Republic President Obokratano. Emreno
lawyer beam.
Yeah,
is that what they say?
Yes, that's what they say. Okay, so the story is here. And now there was a glimpse of it. Far a year, page number 8 of the New Republic, the Obokratano, and Semno Ego, Womu H. said, in a dramatic twist to the ongoing high-profile 49 million Ghana City's National Signals Bureau embezzlement case. Veteran legal practitioner Atachian has publicly spoken out after one of his clients, Mildred Donko, shockingly terminated his services. The seasoned lawyer, known for his no-nonsense approach to journalists, he was completely unfazed by the decision, stating he would never impose himself on a client. The courtroom drama erupted when Mildred Donko, a key defendant in the case, informed the judge in no uncertain terms that she was getting a new lawyer. I wish to take a separate lawyer. She declared a statement that left many observers stunned. So that was what transpired in the case over there. But
the headline was misleading, very misleading. Because you name those Ura Atachian representing Omo. So he was not even representing Omunina. No. Kwabena and Angela and representing Omo.
Mildred Donko came in, and Mildred Donko says that no epe lawyer for.
So you be who the obey Mildred lawyer. Then we know where this is coming from,
of course. Brenoko, 10 minutes past the hour of 7. Yamfa social media trends, environment for the phone and obey. Robert Fatis Heboli, I crowd. Kanakeda.
A pete is the one will be walking kakakada. Walking Siabi as a bombing. A pete is the one will be walking kakakada.
Lagofi, I'm on one as well. When it also got this soccer pepper on sugar bowl. The Amona and the students is playing. I don't rice water.
Rapapa Fati Shaibu Ali Ayakrado and Zeno Besame can a year US Chinibi. I feel me free United States of America, my bagana.
Why not Casala?
Nti a Rapapa Fati Shaibu Ali. All the social media trends,
Fatima.
Enti Munchena Moutier.
Yamfa
Yamfa a social media trends in a favorite and I have a rubber for the chair. So the brain on the pay. Young Quay, then I just
Yebe eda eye Bristol ase se omwetumi aboayen ama ye the social media trends ebremo anopebia. Bristol ewo eye electrical solutions emao. Me pacho emfa ho ene dan na wusie no. Se wusi dan na kotene mu se efie, wusi ede aye shops, wusi ede aye company edwuma. Ade bia ye de electrical nyoma ehihye mu bia no. We hear Bristol ewo high quality MCBs. So onomo a year durable distribution boxes, sockets, any switches and so bebre. Me pacha ope papa na. Uko joma enko ka se me pe MCBs. Me pe a year switches. There be uko also me pe Bristol. Omo anka so mbehu no mo hu se wonni mu yie pa wonni papa ne papa ewom enti Bristol omaba ama ye nyina because they would ensure say power eye ofie ubebi ala wo hia power na be safe amount so and be very very reliable at the amount yansha social media trends na say na meti hey enya mepe ena meniji sika ho enya mepe ena kwan bia so no sika bia ba meji no na omampani so why red papa na ni aye red baby sika hye bia no opese onye bi na odeboa eye oman Ghana enti o se wate se loto mu de papa and I say no man se ne ehie escape na loto mu aye de say no mama ya fanto so eneja yenya billion bia me de bia ya kwan me de bia si schools me de bi ene mo de munti omampani plans na wafa say obetumi educate
Niria obebram numbers na me so makwatwa loto ni bi Alex Yeboa Wadie Deputy Director General National Lotteries Niria obebram numbers na me so makwatwa loto ni bi Alex
Entino President His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and amote ne nka no copy adwumedi ase e na obubodi na obo ba akodi no say na we kra so no ye deputy wo we ene o Jack abrami too sure na me fan hwe me how far nti o man panika na mo say o man pani sense of humor e de ene ene no bia esresa na comment e ba ye wa bra video ne copy mu e wo social media so no ene Hassan Stereo say they made us hate this man Obed Hopes say if you genuinely love JDM, he might be watching. Sing stop. See the most adorable and kindest man. Aka say it's a natural charismatic. He's a natural charismatic leader. No faking. The people's president. Nikos we say his humor and the love Ghanaians have for him is what they pepper the press conference party. So and Edulove, I say, wow, no competitor. Kwadwo income, I say, this one, the trade directs. And I debemano. Kume Pom say, Mahama make wild. He wants take Lotto too. And tisa, and comment, you know, etie ewo year sa video no emu. Yentwaso na yemfa dia council entwaso emfa emawe. Na anope no yeah, and will say, track bia, just a minim track no. Sena ojina kwa huo mean tibida. When pacho ebia will break failure, uko ne saying, uso uko winim. Like so ubeko winim. And then a track nasha reverse. Track nasha reverse. I to me I climb a mountain on reverse. Mentiase. Wo de ko Facebook e bia wonim ka mu a obetumi a kire mase track no AC me fan say AC hill na say down atumi a share reverse meaning po say driver timo say driver because ye bie door na to etumi e call reverse e de fo kokko no e ko do top of the mountain and then afa no descend ye menti ase omo pa che say if a breaks now if a break, I say when him now beko. Menti say track no ko nechi. Ebia baby omo de ne ko no pese obeko. Because we dey menti ase. O dey ko Facebook Happy 98.9 FM. Na ko hwa de konti a track yesi onko nanim onko. Yesi onko nanim onko. Yesa na ye Cape Coast no. Na omo se okomfo bi ewu e woti gale eho. Na omo se omo kosie no baby omo musie ye ne yesi e fre omo mbodambo. Mbodambo muni mbodambo. Ewosie o modambom enti no omo eso a efunu no efi akotachire kwan no so eba besia afa eyifu akwan no so ade nakọ abura mbodambom wakosie no omo du efie ni ma minim ade ye no ose onko na enkofu omo so ade omo komachi omo come back to akotachire kwan no so sa na track ya ye track ne si onko Enti oba besia na wasai call reverse full mountain no. I want to understand it. How otumi call reverse call full mountain. We fairly break. Menti ase. Comment about no any. Benzola say, what kind of cameraman be this? Sabdoku say some taxi drivers you see a truck reversing and you still think it's safe to keep moving towards it. Rock, I say, those who are saying that the taxi driver no wanyade no, which angle were they watching it from? So as soon as broadside say arrest the driver immediately. Umuki said the truck driver ignored his brakes many times before the brakes gave up. Though he's a good driver. I am Kobe, say the driver should be jailed. Instead, you will see people saying the driver did well, pa. They don't do maintenance and that causes these things. So and GH Danny Flex, say the truck is reversing with fifth gear. And tisa and comment no etia yede abrel ene anopay na afe no obi buefu den adaya alarm hu sensemi na mehwa oba no da no cemeteriza o cemeteriza because ono na ne alarm tumi yes ade no oba ni nukunu omada mo seti alarm no nipa na seti ye no oba no alarm ya abo ma be ma na sorry ono de alarm on te hwe mi wo no seti ne alarm na wo hwese ne nukunu ne hwe ne na ne wo ye ne hia ma chese onya na ko be logo no akwa akoto baabi alarm abo assistant hwe comment no eni expert say this sound is so traumatizing. J Classics, to be fair, I've listened to my alarm too much and it sounds soothing now. Sugar Music say, guy, the alarm, she only said that to wake you, so you can also wake her. March Food say, my sister, I literally destroyed one of her phones out of anger because of this, and I had to replace it. And this and comment, etie. Na mimbisa Sefani Obiba. Sefa kra minim so oba onua ba o. Minim wo sisters.
Me wo sisters panyimfo miensa.
Wo sisters.
Panyimfo.
Enti sa wo ti say wo sister. Wo ti say wo sister Same. Ne kunu. Wache ne wabobɔ no he. Wabo no ti say on bia on no
sister no.
On ne gina ring mu.
Wabo mi sister no.
Wabo no femfenam wo che say was say ho
obebo mi nso aka
pacho den number
also wabo mi sister no
wabo no ni kunu Same
nti yemfa ne se makonta
wabo sister no
dan to ba si
obebo maka ho
makonta bo mi sister no
yes no
obebo maka ho
o sa and na chese musumu akopie mu Nigeria we ho me pacho ko Facebook
na ye na aba no
akonta ho akere ne papa
obebo mi nso
akonta ho aba we de akonta ntumi amo akonta ya hwe akonta femfenam ya bu no omo bu akonta te se omo ye mba omo che se omo hwe no che se mi hu se na me ncheche asem ni mu na mu hu se na ohwe no ete me ba charge so ko Facebook na ko hwe
bu ni kom
ade so ko ọmọ buno aba pa ne bellet ọmọ se unim oba abro ene by na akonta honam ye ne ya odeda baby odeda no enya hwe na afa mo sister aba se o opamocho munja ne na akonta nya ayi kwan na ne America we dey ko Facebook na ko ekohwe bi happy 98.9 FM menka mo say we do not support violence but we dey sweet kakra. We don't support violence, but it's sweet kakra. Obu oba osan so ye wo yere ya onya oba. And omotin tam ye pa from inside to outside. Akonta di ahwe nyina wom. Ai. Omotin tam papa. Comment no enie. Asem wo musi esi wo Nigeria memo. Ugozi said this is not the right way, please. Siblings, next time wear comfortable clothes so one person can hold him down. Because I'm moving to go police station. Also, this is not the right way, please, siblings. Next time, we're comfortable. No, musha jalabia. Enti. Oh, say no, so no. Rigid kakranti. So mutu name ne ade na. Omuntu minting. Cause think musha sweatpants say na. Any easy. Also, this is not the right way, please, siblings. Next time, wear comfortable clothes so one person can hold him down while the rest flog shaggy for him body. Miss Pearl say, first thing I am seeing on the internet today, and my body is sweeting me. Thanks for making my day, brothers of the year. Lemon with lemon, I say, if he can fight with her 3 brothers like this, imagine what he did to the woman. I say, for the first time, I am proud of Aboki people. Samson official, I say, the one on Brown, they flog the guy with all his strength. Be like Nahim loved the sister pass. So Anna Dennis Bride say, my sister's husband beat her one time. She could have gone to the cops and got him locked up, but she reported him to my brothers. The beating that they gave him, he never hit her again. When they were beating him, she was cheering them on. Lack stress say, look at their sister opening the gate door for her husband, begging them to stop. That's why it's best not to get involved, because these wives will always go back. So and a pretty silver essay, well deserved, siblings of the year. Kemi say, love what her brother said. They are all married men too, and they know the value of women. Oggy essay, I don't support violence. Why is a videographer shaking anyhow? Next time, you should look for a good angle to capture. Kebs essay, when you got brothers who aren't in the pocket of your husband, sir, and right now, see, you want to know the truth about what may likely happen after this, he will take it out on her. So Anna Valari say, the brother in brown took it very personal. Well done, brothers. Nasara, I say, they are peace-loving brothers. So Anna Nonyi say, if men have been doing this since, no man will raise his hand on any woman. The guys did very well. So Anna, realtor, I say, one ex-in-law of ours can relate. He fainted after the beating, and they took him to the hospital. We took our cousin back, contributed money, and started a chemist for her, which has grown to a pharmacy. She's a pharmacist, by the way. So Anna, the fit babe, say, I hope they didn't leave their sister there to remain in that house, because if they did, they should know he's gonna transfer all this anger on her. On try BM cram. And Tisa Anna comment now etia aha Anna ene ye de a year trend the day ABC a day amount ewo ahano.
Wa mo o settings video no. Eno na. Now pa.
Ye twanyum.
Hey, Fatipa.
Ye twanyum.
But my main cousin, say Bema bi niza aka. Say on niza aka menua baby. But your man won't tell you. And that's all niza aka me baby a. Kai say we ya ba.
It won't even happen.
What we ya ba? What we yo? And sada me kwa na mo.
I'm laughing in a yenkonya.
Sada no me kwa
yenkonya foforo na ha.
Sada no me kwa no mo di nyum ye esi akiri. Awie ye. Bonyom no ye twanyom foforo.
Ye twanyom. And you know, who calls the bar for me? You better because I know somebody dedicated to some phobia.
And Kyle Crown.
Hey, what's one yo? One yo,
and one American. That's a name in the Musa Befa Fatianis.
Yeah, trap wow. I say, I'm bored.
I've been idea when I never know as a good idea.
But by job Bristol and a boy, am I at the social media trend?
I mean, you could take it.
Young go.
Oh, I don't think they have the video.
Settings upon settings and from
Ghana for money.
Hey.
Ghana for so me kasa mo ye pa mo nya. Eh. Nana on timi na ndiana.
Hey. Media die say okodi him.
No. Ona me gusa sa de on timi na ndiana.
Ya che ne hema no kra na ye me fe no. Fe pa.
Well, everyone do them things. Yeah. You young comrade. Na ye koba. Enya de ansa na ye beko na wi djumede beko na wi ne. E bo settings amount. Right. Settings and fanfuni. Happy 90.9 FM Wasuku Sweti. Jumede the happy morning show. Intro Rachel Bankoma Karinya and Debra live on the show this morning.
Spirit must respond. Yes!
5 days, 1 mission, 5 speakers, 1 mandate, a divine appointment with destiny. Greater Works 2025. Speaking, Pastor Matthew Bashimolowo, Bishop Tudor Bismarck, Bishop Mike Okonkwo. Joining us this year, Pastor Paul Ade-Farasin, and our conference host, Pastor Mensa Otabil. Date, Monday 4th August to Friday 8th August 2025. Venue, ICGC Christ Temple East. Morning sessions, Tuesday to Friday, time 9 a.m. Evening sessions, Monday to Friday, time 5 p.m. each night. Special song ministrations by Edwin Datson, Nathaniel Bassi, Dusing Oyikan, Joe Metal. Buses will be available at strategic locations across the city. For more details, visit gwcentral.org. Greater Works 2025. It's coming down.
It's coming
New Kivo Hot Pepper Powder. Moko shoo. This advert is FDA approved.
For all the news updates, trending topics, good music, and unbiased analysis of various issues, listen to the Happy Morning Show on Happy 98.9 FM. We are your morning companion.
So pesa otensamu ebo chiko bremai. Ewo my kronkron Ghana mu. Enyompa, enim pensem mu etasu a ene debia. For kasa fidie ne to Happy 98.9 FM. Na tie the Happy Morning Show. Efri anopa no nsia, ekopem nonkron. Efri juada, ekopem efiada. The Happy Morning Show. We are your morning companion.
For all the news updates, trending topics, good music, and unbiased analysis of various issues, listen to the Happy Morning Show on Happy 98.9 FM. We are your morning companion.
Happy Morning Show.
Happy FM 98.9.
Zaya Energy Minister Editu Joseph said if you happen to go into the energy sector, yay! And Sempa Ewohopa de Nyasem Kitwa. Now there are a couple of steps at the energy ministry, and as the energy and green transition ministry, Minister Odano. What they about to just say or pese utu anamon said be and sema hodwa ewo ye the energy sector no mu no ye bitimi aso no kama nemo me musa. I mean some of the proposals now what they abano so e betimi aboa anase entumi emwa. These are critical concerns among for raising with regards to nansen and some about to dwa say intia IPPs ka kapudro eda the energy sector no metre the legacy debt $3 billion and yeah Ghana citizens make $3 billion and legacy debt the energy sector and now do especially the electricity company of Ghana aumuntimi operate optimally. And so indeed the energy and green transitions minister Ora Jinapo ada anaswa painting the right picture mind of how the energy sector looks like as it stands now. Now we all know say if the necessary steps are not taken. Say yentimi entwana mo sesi ya. The ebesi ene say ebeduru brebi no enyinam ahoden ebetumi abo am yatumi de nyuma ahodo e mfi ahodo ni nyuma ahodo mu no. Enya de ayensa ebeka, and that's the point that we all do not want to get to. And so I'm paying some of the things that the Energy and Green Transitions Minister Edituja yeni enkomo ho kakra again. One of the critical conversations and I say ebeto genre, but come here say I'm for bring on down for money go. But idea koso because even within my family, meaning pebia omo eyo margin some be ko asra adwuma mu na sa obamba adwuma mu the amount of money that they have to cough out and sana ya adwuma no enye sika ketwa. It's been going on. Mekacho say I'll take you back to 2015, somewhere around February 8, 2015. Na emabuna hodo isi omanya letter omoko for a year screening said the be ombetimi akọ aposi adwuma no na asra adwuma no okokuduru the respective police depots mia hodo no ebe screen wo no a omkokuduru ho no yes hey mo let us ekuta mo any signature na boss already me come here say look it's a fake intinipa mabunu dodo pa ena won ede womani ho hantwo esansa won wachi eko mu fie ahodo no mu. An investigation was occasioned na owura sembekaya ediana bebre no ayebo owura Patrick Timbila wono na nasa abre no director in charge of human resource Ghana Police Service mu. Ono was part of the individuals who were indicted omo eji no free post adwuma no isa se jemu ebeda na de pefe se na ne ho ebom sika budu epie mu no nyisika actua. And when we were having a conversation with one more some of them were saying that they paid between 2,000 Ghana cedis and 7,000 Ghana cedis. Then yeah, come on, because of somewhere in Defense Minister Dr. Maneboama Edituja Brana when Ghana phone edin komo during the accountability series was say mebunu anasen kwadado bi asra adwuma no mu a womo no omo nsem fata so mbekọ asra adwuma no mu. So how did they end up there? Big question. If that has been the case over a period of time, and one more you do a more asra adwuma no mu no. So wo musunyo mbana de saying one more sefata eno munya kwanya ekọ asra adwuma no mu na say awbamba adwuma no. But yenko green energy and green transition ministry na yeni nkomo odi atudwa said the ekoso the energy sector no enya de ketwa, particularly the debt owed to independent power producers. Now, according to the minister, the government is working to renegotiate terms with the IPPs as part of efforts to resolve the debt crisis. Say ka odi omo no oni mo kwa akotrase na omo asambobo hu bio ansakran sana why na adwene say bia ebenye ska akra yetumi e de atua e de eyika no bi e de afiri ho na ose sesia no baby ejina sesia no as we speak now baby ejina sesia no it doesn't look that good. Ever hear say any panyefo betimi edi nkomo e wo sa ensemi ma menka wo say opa adwuma ya mesere wa modern afo aso ben me isan say me wasem wode bi ma sesia say uyo bi a oye SHS liver why adwene say obetimi ana say o pepa bi so obetimi abo amanfo enioma dwapade ho ban e dia ma omo mesere wa adwuma ko bi dia ba betu anim so mo pesa enipa ne bi enu wo di dwuma enti enimu onimu ya entwentwen so modern afo application letter Fabra the front desk of Happy 98.9 FM. You are asylum down. Mr. Enipa do no mo peno. And no so santi ene utie mi ya no na America tente pa wodi di America na wodi aba Mr. Se bia penchiremu bia obetimi afetiti fa homan na sa nchiremu no wonsa atumi aka. Number ne 0202 222 068 0202 222 068 eno ene number no a obetimi afre na one empanyufo etumi edi ensawo. So a live soup eno ne semna papa ene dane de nyina mekanfo edi ama wo so obetimi otobie na watimi edi ejuma e ofifa dware na owede no entoso kama pa oto a live super yomu ahodo baako enan lemon wo ho coconut wo ho aloe vera wo ho ena rose nso ewo na mese rose no ehwan papa ene na wodi dware na ohwhwa no aye kama we ofa fikyire ho a obetumi anya bi ato te bomodin na fa fikyire ho na kokɔgye bi na wɔn so fa dware na wɔn deɛ no ɛntɔ so ɛnyɛ suku na hana kama pa. Alive soap, feel fresh, feel alive. Yɛn kɔ ahoma no so yɛn twetwe nkɔmɔ yɛne owura Benjamin Nsia Executive Director for the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy. Which say or your policy analyst, energy policy analyst, kesiye pa. Mami enkonho na yensha komunasi enfam free and someone energy and green transitions minister Eddie Atuja say, look, we have a lot to deal with within the energy sector. Is it that afiansa na energy minister no ehu anasa no hu de na nemu no hu kwan a obefa so aka no? Good morning.
Oh, I think that Ghana oil energy sector now, they are historical. And being a ranking member, and as a deputy ranking member of the Energy and Mines Committee, the minister should be aware and expectant of these debts. Because periodically, IPPs no issue more. Periodically, other power sector service providers issue more. Periodically, state institutions or more power sector issue more. And not for any manner. And he knows these debts. And since the Zoom office, they've made various pronouncements on these debt issues. And they've allocated some funds for it in the budget to be able to defray some part of it. We have budget in mind. The Minister of Finance mentioned about 30 billion Ghana cedis in the write-up. But of appendix now, they made about 28 billion Ghana cedis for the sector shortfalls. Second, so it's good for them to find ways a bit defray Ghana.
Sɛ wotie nsɛm a ɛyɛ energy minister, energy and green transition minister Eddie Tudwa na wɔde kɔkɔ akɔfa no sɛ sesia no ɛka yɛde independent power producers ɛgyina $1.7 billion ɛnyɛ cedis $1.7 billion, which is part of the broader $3 billion data ɛwɔ energy sector no mu. Okase one independent power producers no call aquakudinsa also and I said when you edinsa also to ensure say there is a win-win situation. How sustainable do you think say this strategy to renegotiate with the IPPs $1.7 billion no? How sustainable do you think say it will be, especially in the mindset of the energy minister, a win-win situation?
I think it's going to be very sustainable depending on how the ministry approaches these debt issues. And the end at SEMSA have always maintained that most of the historical debt and now the FM legacy debt are due to bad contracts signed in time past. And some of these bad contracts, some of these IPPs have benefited a lot from the state than be a few more. And some of them might have even recouped more investment. So that's over 100% return on investment and even much even. What they are likely going to take from Ghana in the coming years, surplus income. And as an extra benefits or money because of bad contracts for my Ghana and your Musaye. So the time has come for us to be very frank with them. So in 2015, I signed contracts, we signed them under agency or emergency. And because of say signed contracts, under agency or emergency, my Ghana nani eto nema be so and equity. For example, the pricing of power in dollars equity. Two, the over subscription of power generators, no, Kotiayan. Because at that time we had in excess of about 44% of what we needed. And the Biamekase power, no, and tomatoes, no, people must build the infrastructure, people must mobilize resources to be able to build this software infrastructure. And if you commit to say sign agreement, what it means is that produce power now, whether you're able to take it or you're not able to take it, you have to pay for it. And these are the contracts that are signed. So the $1.7 billion, these are historical debt. They are not even the renewal debt and as a current debt now year of them. These are historical due to some of the bad contracts we signed. Okay. So, most of the IPPs have benefited from us. It's good to say very negotiating. One, we need to be very open with them. So I think they benefited a lot. So also some of the Sikana more expected from us is that they give us a time frame for us to be able to defray it, or maybe is that a more current dealing system, no? It was almost a sound system, no? Na Emma Efiva, the consumer as the electricity end user. What is favoring the end user is favoring government, you know. In the long run, it's also going to favor them because I say so in the sense that some of these contracts were signed the time and now you sign American contracts. But no, America Bay of my Ghana. Imagine we use the American approach in some of the contracts we signed earlier. And most of the companies are with us of Ghana. As Ghana, we determine how we look at these debts, and then we also look at how we defray them. But because and because of that urgent situation, an emergency situation, no, and I'm on so renegotiation is key. I think we need to renegotiate some of these contracts in terms of the pricing of it, and also in terms of some of the inputs at the moment. For example, fuel supply, we have to supply fuel for them. So what they just do is a render service, and service rendering should not cost us how much we are paying for. Another me I defray some of these debts in the long run. And what's important, apart from renegotiation, the sector must be also very efficient, because even the ESLA, in 2015, only about 70 to 75% of ESLA are mobilized for the power sector and goes to the power sector. All the governments that are they've defaulted. Since 2015, they introduced ESLA and they started, NDC one default year, NPPs were default year. So efficient management of resources, you may be free, and also the whole organizational culture of these state institutions in the power sector, especially the distribution companies, with a lot of impunity in how they manage national resources. And also there was because the America said in the public sector, we don't benchmark them on performance. The only question so far as I can say, what you say, so yeah, the poor, so yeah, the bony or sandy will say, but we must begin to look at it from a very efficient managerial perspective. Because that's what the private sector does. So beyond renegotiation of these IPP contracts, we need to be also very efficient. Efficiency will save us a lot of money, and this money could be redirected to areas of debt sustainability.
Let's come up with a couple of scenarios. So the first scenario that is playing in my head is, say, energy ministry so ne IPPs tenasi no more din so anaso ne omo renegotiate the kind of contractor buy no any omo na say omo ka say omo empene. What happens to the legacy debt the energy sector?
We will have to pay for it because only one committee already. But I think that the time has come also even because the future, we need a lot of power. also capacities are whether dependable capacity, whether install capacity. I think that if demand of power continues between 7 and 10% annually, especially at the time of buying so the 24-hour economy bar, also industrializing zones across the country with agri farms, also digital hubs across the country, also some parks, technological parks and other things across the country means that we need a lot of power. And if that implementation will be very effective and very sustainable, our power might be exhausted by 2026-27. Yeah, dependable capacity we are likely going to exhaust it. And this is based on say 24-hour economy, industrialization, we find very serious. So if find serious, I will exhaust it. So new contracts will have to be signed. And so new contracts are signed here. It means that some of these power producers may bid. This over bidding historically you could not support us in our drive to achieve energy security. Now who do us to ransom? Can't make a supply gas and answer the generating Kania because of the leka. Future contracts as of mine will be very careful in how we deal with you, and at the time ministry number is going to be very open and very competitive, no? I'm sure I will bid, but others will be more competitive than you. You'll be taken out. So I think that it is good for them to also say, because the IPPs have made a lot from us than the value they've given us. It's good for them to say, okay, they say that you support the and develop by. So I think in the future it is likely going to affect them in terms of their investment in the country, because we may need a lot of power. And if you need a lot of power, and we may not consider some of them in future when power capacities now are being considered to be installed. And media, they will not hold out. I don't think that some of the IPPs not. But I don't think they hold us ransom. But if they do, they will lose in future.
How much do you think the renegotiation with the IPPs will cut off from the existing debt of 1.7 billion?
I think we need to even look at this debt issue carefully, because you see, if you take the cash waterfall mechanism, for example, in those days, the previous government was even able to pay recurrent debts, not current debts, of about $43 million to various power producers in the level A, and as a different category A beneficiaries of the system or the framework. But in this year, I think we have been doing well, because this year your revenue mobilization drive is quite better than the previous year, and we realized for the first time about 1.4 billion. I think that was in the February or January invoices. One of the invoices we realized almost about 1.4 billion Ghana cedis, and this 1.4 billion Ghana cedis they are converted to dollars more. We are now paying some of the IPPs or the category A for Ninabuma. We are paying them almost $56 million compared to 2024 and year around $43 million. So in terms of revenue mobilization, I think this government has done well. I was able to. And Omaye Adenos also means that we may be able to pay current debt and as a recurrent ones, whilst also missing part of the cash waterfall mechanism, and as the revenue mobilized through the sales of power to also settle some historical debt. And so I believe that 1.7 billion you may be free in that regard. The second part also has to do with recent adjustment of electricity, because the 27% the tofu well, I think that is because of debt issues. The second part is that they decide to move because there's some historical debt I will see it here, because in the third and fourth quarter of 2023 2024, no, and Kabidahwa, Yanti, according to the PRC, which I disagree with them, they factored that into the new pricing of electricity. So it will mobilize it from the power sector and also the performance of the city. And so it will lead to some benefits because all the discovery in cities now converted the dollar more dollar to be able to defray some of these debts. So it's just about prudent and efficient management of the resources I mobilize the last part is that about some the deal levy by is because of some of these debt issues. So if the deal levy is going to realize almost about 5.7 billion Ghana cedis, that's all they can. The already existing levies in one. It means that we are going to realize almost about 11 billion Ghana cedis. Now 11 billion Ghana cedis no converted by CD Mukrana, who they converted dollar CD ratio. We are talking about 1 billion Ghana cedis. Dollars. We are talking about $1 billion.
Yeah.
The $1 billion, what it means is that you talk of 1.7 billion to IPPs, but only $1 billion between the free. Amanaka 700 million, whilst the power sector is also regenerating some income to also settle the 700. Whilst we also look at the broader 3 billion debt in the sector, which are caused by some gas supply contracts signing, which are also caused by some institutional inefficiencies, and also affecting, which are also caused by some transmission debt. All these, in a broader context, say by next 2 to 3 years, we should be able to defray this debt because there are a lot of income streams this debt within the shortest possible time. But we see that because politicians and government state actors always want to find a way to mobilize a lot of resources from the people. So once I someone somewhere will continuously mismanage it and come to us to pay more. Yes, idea. I think that in the next 2 to 3 years, we should be able to defray this debt and then make sure that the power sector is very sustainable and energy secured.
There are a couple of questions that won't be trimmed, but maybe standing in I'm not sure if we will end the conversation today. If you are to look at acquiring a fast generating revenue over a period of time, particularly within the energy sector, just as you've mentioned, and yet efficient enough, especially with the power distributors, yaka ECG, and once several times. I remember there was a point in time, many would say, has it gotten to a point in time where see me privatize the electricity company of Ghana, and I say a portion of its operation. D-levy, yade buy say, yade kwa kutia a car, ya bo ediato, especially with electricity generation, and as a power generation, Now, how confident, because you mentioned that per the projections are, for Afinum Konavi, now we are reckoning some 5 billion a year Ghana cedis. How confident are we that indeed we'll be able to generate a year $5 billion? Aside that, what other means of revenue generation and you bet me I institute to deal with the legacy debt away the energy sector?
So, the fuel side, I think the amendment, which is 1135, which is the energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy. Now, it is going to give us more than 5.7 billion now by Kano. I've stated it that it's going to give us about 11, between 10 billion to 11 billion Ghana cedis. And the fuel sector, and as a petroleum sector, downstream, is a well-assured sector in terms of mobilizing revenue to defray debt because these levies are based on consumption. And a country and diversify your transport sector. Your transport sector not solely depends on fuel. Until you use fuel. and then I'll be here. And fuel consumption for some time now is on the rise, increasing year on year. And the increase year on year, no, now it's also revenue cry, Swana Echo, the economy, dear, Ubanyas Canadian Kutia. But as I indicated earlier, no, historically, if you look at the ESLA, the mobilizations and utilizations, there's always a gap. We mobilize, but utilization deficiency because Sikana Wajino Faninanko. That is one.
And why is that? Why is that the case? Before you even move on to two, why is that the case, or why has that been the case over a period of time now?
Because Minister of Finance over the years, they don't prioritize the power sector. Let me use that word. They do not prioritize the power sector. Two, the ministry is benefiting from the debt situation of the sector because even ESLA 899 2015, it had a sunset clause. And the sunset clause was that by 5 years or so, we should have been done paying the debt. So tier debt now Bano Bekase tier about 4 Ghana cedis, 25 pesos of fuel as well. So we intentionally trade the debt so that we can continue to levy the Ghanaian. And TNS is kind of in Tiana, but the utilization has been a problem because we discount the entire discount obekomono nanina enko.
So we can say it's deliberate on the part of government.
It could be deliberate because people benefit from our predicaments. People benefit from some of these challenges that we want to resolve. So the BIN keep it so that people continue to benefit. And that is true. From 2015, I started implementation. There was a gap between mobilization and then utilization, and we don't even know where they direct these funds to because the ESLA doesn't explicitly say scan the Kohana the Koha. They just tell us there are some government priority projects and something for the sector, and also there are some OMCs. They take the money, but they don't repay and also remit the money to the central government. Right? Yes. We will share price stabilization recovery levy, for example. Most of the SR reports I've read, sometimes a cabbie to me bum about 500 million, sometimes a cabbie to me bum about 200 million, 186 million. So people
on the part of the OMC, they're supposed to give the money to government.
Government, government. They don't remit it to government. They keep it, and as I know, MP, they have a what they call account receivable committee. My establishing. Still reading Kofoyachi. I'm a politician. I belong to this party. They consider party near Jan Maneko. Now could right? And the lack of transparency.
Private businesses.
Yes, this is happening. Most governments, MPP, NDC, or DSC can be na kutia of fuel station. Omudia, na companies na ko MP, MPP netiswa. Also, me MPP ninti, economy nyanti amede boa party. They spend this money. NDC is by some of them the same thing. They also go and then we are also NDC people. And they also embezzle our money. They embezzle our taxpayers' money and private businesses, and nothing is done to them. And the lack of transparency with respect to how you can account for these resources, is also very bad, right? Private companies are buying now for and so emphasis can come buying almost and nothing is done to them. Nothing. In 2022, 2023 Auditor General's report mentioned 60 million Ghana cedis are not boss for a pure boss margin. But the companies did not remit this boss margin to the state. But they are prosecuting. Could be the original court. I will face any court challenge. But me no TSS can. So it's also a problem. And yes, we could be able to mobilize in the medical culture based on the 11 billion Ghana cedis we are realizing, based on the performance of the city against the dollar. I think by next 2 years we should be able to defray this industry debt of 3 billion. The issue because then if the power sector is doing well in terms of revenue mobilization, what it means is that it could be able to take care of the recurrent debt and as a recurrent expenditure. If you're able to take care of the recurrent debt or expenditure, what we have to do is the historical. And historical, the D-levy or the new amendment will take care of it. Some surplus income from the income mobilization by the discourse, also take care of some of them. And maybe government also finds other revenue sources to also offset this debt so that my sector are very free of debt and very energy secured by 2027 there on. Now aboyen, but so far as the enemy are buying a bigger person of a crime, they'll continue to be these inefficiencies, and then they'll come to us to mobilize a lot to go and defray, and we shall continue to medical, especially a buying crown amendment, 1135, one first answer close beyond so. And your advice which means you are likely going to pay it in perpetuity because it also becomes another source of revenue streams for government. You must pay, and fuel is inelastic. So that's a better way of mobilizing revenue for state. Until maybe people begin to diversify the transport sector using EVs, electric vehicles, using compressed natural gas, CNG. People begin to use a lot of LPG for transport sector. So far as obey to white products, petrol and diesel there, obey these levies, and they must know that, especially at the time that government now or diversify the transport sector, at the time that government now or diversify the energy mixes to add more of renewable energies or transition energies, also who say a group microphobia and use fuel medium, so won't mean tax fuel and radio. So I was say also share so by that time all the legacy debt recurrent debt and your legacy debt recurrent debt it makes your electricity very affordable, it makes your industries very competitive locally, regionally, or on the international market.
I was just going through some data. I realized ECG by the end of June. She got to me by some 47.3% as a revenue kakra to Miaba, and this is attributed to what they describe as efficiency within a revenue mobilization and as a operational efficiency. ECG Edi Egu Akwamu. ECG has been in the news for some time now, and I think that I need to bring back the question as to where ECG stands now. What do we do to ECG to ensure say it continues to provide the required services here?
So I think the ministry is clear on that, and they've taken the part of involving private sector participation in the management of ECG. And I don't know, Mafa, we are because that's the position of government. I think that we just have to adapt best practices. We just have to ensure that there's no political interference in the selection process of private participants. We just have to also ensure that the private participants coming in are going to inject the liquidity needed. They are going to inject the technology needed. They are going to inject the knowledge and human resource needed to ensure full revenue mobilization potential of the sector. Yes, you do 95% revenue mobilization. So you do sounds well, and it means that all these resources are about the human, the capital, the technology must also be of best standards to ensure that a better value for money for some of these contracts are sign. Because in our context, mostly near the principle, but the practice. Because the principle is that yes, if you involve private sector participation in the management of ECG, I very optimal. I remain very efficient. I very new organizational culture of discipline and very transparent in the management of their resources. But that is the principle in books. By a practice of politician and politicians because of that they want to fund their political parties. They always find a way to milk some of these agreements in value for money. But we should make sure that contract Matesa is going to be very open. Very open, making sure that we select the best of which me am I value for money and ensure that they'll mobilize a lot for the state. I think that as a mind, we also need to look at how ECG is going to defray the debt. And ECG, the other disco like Netco, because as areas or bit media revenues all hand over to the private sector. What it means is that Sankabia ECG or charge the services and then its distribution service of about maybe 10 pesos per kilowatt hour. And I try all the revenue mobilize and a bit cheap. And as all the Chemukana say revenue mobilize and as a private participants now Obamono. Obeji commission krana, it means that Sigano Duduana and call ECG Hobium, Kakabi Nebekono. But this company, we are talking of a company that is in debts of or liabilities of about 70 billion Ghana cedis. Because the last time I checked, it was around 67 billion Ghana cedis. So it's almost 70 billion Ghana cedis liabilities. So how do we defray this debt so that in the long run, also the books bear clean kaka? I think that must also be considered in this selection process. I think there was all mind if you're quite pabiswa to me I defray some of this debt at ECD because it helps them in modernizing the system. Because a lot of liabilities are own to me and investing in the system. And so when I invest in the distribution system, is likely going to make sure high in terms of system interruptions, whether frequency, whether duration, whether by day or by time, affecting. And even though we are going to involve the private sector participation, I will say and lastly, private sector participation has been the position of government. But for us to get a very regulated sector, I think that we need to amend the 738, which is the PRC Act. We need to look at it because the question, Emma, even the perception of political interference in there, and as executive interference in their management, Emma echo high because it's directly under the presidency. And sometimes the company is directly under the presidency. People may have wild thoughts of how the presidency could influence their decision making or tariff decision making. Young amending every presidency. Every presidency name money by whether authority, and I think even the previous government wanted to merge it with Energy Commission. So it means merging a streamlining sector now. They are very, very independent. I think that which may policy the private sector or policy private sector here and also was effective power. We are also getting efficient management of resources in the sector, energy security and sustainable energy in future. But say I'm strengthening PRC here. Obey Kramaya audience or the Kadompi. And that also will not help the sector in terms of revenue mobilization. So these are some of the things I think that are buying a bit taking it serious. But the politicians need more and how they manage our institutions. But this time, we are trust they will do the right thing for us to have a better country for a better development. I expect it for our people.
Final question will be, energy sector, no, baby, here as we speak.
For in terms of power availability, I think in recent times is good, but the sustainability of it is something I was say because power no benyan and there, but that's will you get it. But I think the sustainability of it is what the conversation should be. That yes, we have stable power today, but how sustainable will it be in the next 2 to 3 years, in the next 3 to 4 years, in the next 5 years, in the next 6 years? That is the future. That is how we should look at it. Yes, Nediana is good, but how affordable it is for our industries. How affordable is it for our households? How is it reducing poverty, or what they call energy poverty at the household level? How is it making our industries very competitive within the ASTA region, within the world region? How our products being competitive, and the competitiveness of your product depends on energy, how affordable energy is, which is inscripted in the Sustainable Development Goal 7 of affordability and clean energy. So this should be the principle of our state actors in the power sector. Say, my energy very affordable, because say very affordable. It promotes growth, especially industrial growth. Say very affordable. It reduces poverty. And was a yes. Normally, accessibility is good. We've done well. We are in excess of 80%, one of the highest in Africa. Yeah, true. But your focus should now be how do we make our energy very affordable for our industry, so that industrial affordability be promote to a lot of industrialization, and that industrialization will lead to a lot of job creation, and job creation will reduce unemployment for most of our team youth. And I think that we can use energy to drive investment. We can use energy to drive industrialization. We can use energy to drive reduction of unemployment, and that should be that focus, a cross-sectorial plan between the finance ministry and also the trade and industry ministry, as well as the energy ministry, so that I'm the energy minister. I'm going to make sure that our power becomes very affordable. When it becomes very affordable, the trade ministry, how do you ensure that the affordability of the power will attract a lot of investors into manufacturing in our country? Or more, the Minister of Finance, what incentives are you putting in place to ensure that investment ready by investors will benefit from it at the end of the day? That is how planning is done. That is how thinking should be done. And it should be cross-sectorial, where we build our development based on any institutional strength or any ministerial strength to promote growth. And I think that communication should be something periodic among the ministries. But if ministry be a standalone ministry, be at the end of the day, I think that we may not get the best out of some of the decisions we are taking. And that is why historically we've never had some of the best out of the decisions we take, because we are and we don't even see them as partners of development. The moment we begin to see them as partners,
Executive Director for the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy. Now to say nutrition baby of course even power name sustainability quite first way bit me atana dada over the next 10 years, over the next 20 years, and only 7. And also the cut within the energy sector $1.7 billion. That I was say independent power producers. Independent power producers near or ankra womo etimi eyo enyinama hoɔden edema aban to nti se no said the kasa se waye enyinama hoɔden de ama aban ato aban tumi entia eka anase enyinama hoɔden a wɔn eye ankrankre enyinama hoɔden de ma aban no eno de kan de ama aban edika $1.7 billion. Eno energy and green transition minister say hwe sisi said the ayene de also okọ eni sa ankrankra enyumaku no kokọ tenase na woni omo esai edi enkomo bio engita wodi oni omu di ni nyina ne se eni no behwe se de be ye kai da ho adokro man Ghana eye nyina mahoden eno no ebetimi ateso anase impo no se enimanimu ya na osi etua ebetimi ni omo di nkomo se de be ya ebetimi atwe ebre wo se etimi di tua no edi akọ akire na sisi ya na kai da ho na ebomoden ahwese ebetimi edi hu djuma nkakra na se ke ba amunumu no ebetimi ahwe na yetua ka se de be ya enkunye sunsunso boni bia wanyana mo hoden a yepe edi enyuma ahodo ewo omani mu no me bisa no se kwan be na be fa so a because ihe sika enyana mo hoden yenye no kwa ɛyɛ de ma adwumakuo bi so wɔmfa ntom pete nton sɛdeɛ ɛbi ɔno so bɛtumi anya sika ɛde ama aban no besides ECG has it been efficient enough? Or ECG there, would you applaud a privatization? Bear in mind, yanya PDS and to me, I'm for instance, the
issue of ECG, no, I don't think it is a matter of privatization. No. We know, even we are not inside, we know the inefficiencies. We know what the issues are. Because a mimi to me fee, light free. Na mi ankasa be dante, eba ECG, eba catcher so. Martina fee ha 1 year ni, me nya builder. Ne fee ni waha. Enti den ambe ya fa ho. Na mo anya hwe amfa ho. More than once, more than twice. Me ama nante aba. Abe catcher say, I have a meter. Me with TV builder. Light in this so. Now 1 year later, still, Obia Mbahua. And no, privatization ebebwa. When you have people sitting there, the fear of privatization, even workers there kick against privatization, no, is because for me, as Metehano, I feel say private man no bano, and for so obe pese obenyano, or the nina better to so ama yen say yentia. And I feel say getting electricity should be one of your basic needs. If it is too expensive, I won't me afford it bear for only the richer. What's the point? What is the point? And we will sit here, no private person, no. Ebi krana oba on shedam besesa hwe. Kakra na yenya na de aka no yentumi njeje no. Wabesa besesa ni nyina asa de akọ. What we need is to give people your friends and targets. Seal loopholes. Because yama ECG na yet to say Obia ba come and do what you like, get what you want, and go. Why should they come and tell us say collection a problem? If I know sitting here say me angasa me anante aba mo that say baby I'm a teno me wa light but me na bill. That's the point to me anya hwe amfa ho. I would want to believe say prepaid are improving your makakra. Because as it says in the any obi ambe ma bill esana won kota wa wasem wutu baby. Why is it that omo aye ka so mo no mo de kapa no we are not able to put them on the prepaid?
Good question.
Prepaid has got nothing to do with light off. Enti mo bi ambe kan kire me say for some places, there was a light, was all the time. Omo ya light off so. So omo ya light off so. At least new meters you omo dey abey. Who to me fa ade no ebo ehun dey aka wo so. So you cannot tell me say they will not know say ade na ebesa na omatena ho ama nasa enti no they need free range. Please. ECG should set up.
ECG.
My issue is that the most painful part of this is that it's not that they do not know the problem, so they do. So they should come and tell us. I dare see or more quite some best of a problem. They should come and tell us because all the time when they come out, they are lamenting with us. They are telling us the problems. As you know the problems, what are you doing about it?
What are the solutions? Young Combra, my name is ECG Asemi, Ghana for Bruno Abbas on can be bad. And come for back or and also a bit D. But who's I know your agents of a call a military for security forces. No, then get us a call back on Gahan.
Oh, Moko military.
Moko military.
Oh, yes. Yes, Moko military.
Think our home swing, Gavana Vasa.
May me home so say.
So, requirement to
come home. Now, who knew, Sefah? You don't meet the requirements. How do you want to go?
I mean,
you don't meet it. You don't meet it. How do you want to go?
You know,
it's in two folds. One is you don't meet it. Asa. Another is you meet it, but it be a nipa ne dorso. That is where the other problem is. Nipa ne doso enti ebi omu to be found. Yeah. The fear of you knowing that I qualify, I meet the criteria, but do want to know. Ebi announce me so because of that no. Mami nkwa yewe. No mo fa mi nkwa shame. You know say it could even be semi-fans are there no ye per 100%. Ebia nipa miensa nyina wo 100%. But 100%, omoka say bia from 90 to 100, we are A plus. Let me put it that way, A plus. Obi enya 99 or A plus. Obi so enya 90 ono so A plus. Obi enya 92 ono so A plus. Yeah. Enti say ba na ye hwema ye. And 99 no be ko eja 90 no, even though you all have A plus. Enti that is where what I feel say is here. People, a lot of people have qualified, and scrutinize and now pin crowd of them, and because of pin to form no, you with him way abeshim. But the area say bia, me 99, no be when you're 70, about the pam and 50. That is where the problem is, and that is where Siketi and Nisa and Yamano ebim. Wangasa wote ho no na wakwa akotu esika na wakwa akwahye force no mu no wo dwe nkwan asa asika na akotu e bi kra na nya odia wo benya na odia behyem enu nse na e ade sisi no a entwa kwa mu kra asisi ya lawyers na awiawia phones no eye etumi ba no the defense minister, because defense minister Kasem Binra na oh so we did in him that Clay Zawaka Obaka Neba Free with the 23-year-old son of Eura, former majority leader of Parliament, Clay Zawaka, Maxwell Avoka Ewe, while she was at military training. But me Ghana for Mamum phrases here. Muntie Defense Minister Dr. Omane Boama. Wahum. Okasembi on enra bra on Ghana for nyina edi enkomo edifa and muntu at the Defense Ministry for the past 7 months. One of the critical issues of boss has got to do with a directive or the ma say mufrebi no mo edo makwakura Ghana Armed Forces mono. Yenyo mumfiro isa say they did not meet the requirement.
Being the case, ladies and gentlemen, let me share the story of enlistment fraud with the general public. This story shows us that while we fight non-military perpetrators of enlistment and recruitment fraud, we must also pay attention to their few collaborators, and I must say few collaborators within the Ghana Armed Forces. When I assumed office as Minister for Defense, I instituted an inquiry into the enlistment of would-be officers. 452 Ghana Military Academy hopefuls were investigated. Sadly, the outcome of the investigation and audit conducted by the Ghana Armed Forces into enlistment into the Ghana Military Academy for the regular career course 64 and 65 and short service course intake 62 revealed that 210 out of 452, 46% did not meet the eligibility test. For the regular career course 64, who are currently in training, the audit pointed to some 34 trainees who sidestepped one or more of the stages of the enlistment processes. Ladies and gentlemen, it was difficult sending them home since they had been in training for almost 1 year, 12 months. Sending 34 well-trained, energetic youth who had endured military training home in a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous West African sub-region with free-floating weapons and ammunitions can have severe consequences. So, I rated to fulfill all criteria, that's the 34, However, if they fail to meet these requirements, they will be released from training.
Now, enlistment fraud is being a thing, and as a dear, and as I'm speaking right now, maybe a team and as a papa be a team wants his son or daughter to be in the service, and unimpasa ne bano and as ne babana ne babemano. I also team yakunya edikuku remo, but because of we do not know what it is. They said protocol list. Ni one my timitamu omdiom kukura. The force and security forces more or my money. There aren't enough spaces for a lot of individuals, despite the fact some of them may meet the requirement. Now, way back in 2015, about 10 years ago, there was a landmark case when it comes to enlistment fraud. And Jonathan Donko wrote a feature which was published, I think, in Ghanaian Times. I think it was published in 2 series, and that's something of that sort. In Ghanaian Times. And detailed Jumadia a cost when it comes to enlistment fraud. Enlistment fraud in the say Obi Peso ko asra jumanum and as a pussy jumanum. Obi wa number 1 unimpasa nya de obetimi awuramu. Nanso chinchina cho peso awuramu ntino no akwa hu obi say we dey manyante yes obiti ona odi amanfo ewura police adwuma na say asra adwuma na say immigration service adwuma no mti we dey me ma bibi kakra se dey bia betimi abo me bana na atimi akwa kura say adwuma no. That's number 1. You want more willingly they would want to pay something. And you want more omo ye unsuspecting people of the public, they don't know, but there were some miscreant who will come up with dubious means and as a dubious approach say you bet me aboa amwakwa kura asra adwuma no mu enti bomodi abra be hu ye ne twe sesika wi ansa na edwa kura asra adwuma no mu. Now the question that I asked when the defense minister Eka said you nipa binimu they do not meet the requirement, and I said they didn't meet the requirement to enter into the military. So how then were they accepted? Because then if they did not meet the requirement, that recruitment are culpable. They should be punished.
Why is it always the actual victim who is victimized on top of being the victim? Seriously.
How did I get in there? Because I cannot just the military.
Exactly.
And as my son, my son, my son, person, immigration, chinchina family, more quackroom, but what to them be and no more so much training, and I'm cocoa movie. And you'll be energy too much at chinchina day, Minko room. And to one more year, recruitment in Nano must be sacked. One more year recruitment over a period of time, we have been able to identify since 2015 in 2021. It is here. There will be no more as much as 40,000 Ghana cedis to enter into a security service.
Then so 40,000.
So me, yes, I have a problem with one more. They know very well, say they cannot enter. But one more aquacorum, one more G, one more remuno. Why are we not talking about them? The people who are doing the recruitment. Those who did not meet the requirement. Why are we not talking about them? Why are we talking about one more security forces more? We are still victimizing them. Look, of course, and they must be punished. That is understood. But one more almost so opinion be a coin at the moment. What are we doing to them? They should as well be punished. If we want to be fair, they should as well be punished. Mm-hmm. If they must be released from the services dishonorably, like the idea Patrick COP Timbila in 2015, that must happen. That must happen. If you institution another constituted a committee to investigate into kwaya for benum etimi enya akonya ewura asra adwuma no mu, and you realize say enipa do bi no ho a wɔn ensem fata so betimi akwa akowura mu wɔn mu a wɔn wo ho akandifo mu ho nyina no, all of them must as well be released dishonorably from the forces. But the impanyfo be dinko yanko break mra yemfa aye aboafo nkrato ne mra ye ba yene owura Paul Boateng ebedi nkomo and ask why this has been happening within our security service to the extent that your security service number because we've not announced the sale of any forms into say your ton forms be out the Ghana Armed Forces mobiano and yeah immigration service beba Ghana police service beba and they, I mean how the security service are not able to fish out these individuals.
See, they know. The thing is that ebia me to ho. Sefah-Danquah be catch him so minimum be obetumi aboa wo. Ama wakwa immigration. Then nokra nipa na aboa me metua sika whatever. Makoshem. Me so me kwa na masan akọ catch obi foforo so say me kro obi na aboa me na me koshem nti nipa na so betumi aboa wo. Now you say direct work, but they say so they know the campaigns. They know. They cannot tell us they don't know. They do.
Indeed, campaigns never day.
Of course.
Okay. Dr. Zen said, "Be you should deodorant Papa a bit me abuawo. Ama uhun esha et me ejina pampe pa peme pa." Dr. Zen deodorant, natural deodorant. Stay pure, stay so, stay nabo. But more than na fa bra be share 2025 GMA Pamo to corporate run and walk no mu. Now also treat no apo mu na yemwa ema fufuro birim so enije emra wo mu asetena mu na so mabro. He mame entwa so ha wo na me nkwa homa so. Na me ne wura Paul Boateng oye security analyst. Ono eba na hoba mbo ho nsem mu ayade a wabo be ewo mpa. But we want to understand this. That why is it? Say enlistment fraud over a period of time. At now, we have witnessed a landmark case of enlistment fraud into the security services. In 2015, COP Patrick Timbila was dishonorably dismissed from the service. Now, the defense minister, Mayati, as he said, Asrafo, Emofobia for Masra Jumenumu, they did not meet the requirement. They did not meet the requirement. They couldn't meet the requirement. But yes, still, they were able to enter into the forces to even begin training. Mr. Boateng, Ghana for person Motiase, and I myself want to understand. Why does this scenario persist? Why have you not been able to deal with it? Good morning.
Good morning, Miniam. Lady Kamamin said to you for you. Me too. What's up, no, man? So to my reading the defense minister, and the Kanye. Na, me feel to be anchor. Me acquire some tools for I come fast in the energy and come on the kind of public. The person is Ghana Armed Forces. Enlistment or recruitment, or my compromise, so that's the perception anyway. But me did war Ghana Armed Forces. Me feel a difficult first assembly meeting is. Me tell say, yeah, for not a month for Konya so me joining Yasra Kwadwo. Obibeka say criteria na say eligibility we requirement. In fact, will be I was all pass it through. Na enye so pass it na no. Na say be a qualification say be a omo de beto say this one pass be a maths and answer English when you be a BB and san wetimi akwa and non say we be a winya BB na no okoya no awie ana a process into one ma omo ye body selection no ombeba be ye omo feel say omo ye fit promise me join the Ghana Armed Forces. What must free one after education for an say be a almost qualify say almost able to join it army no. You know, conform also by yes start text now minister can once them and now when your psychology for sometimes on for university for no almost charge university no matter start text no. It is and ya dear ni pa ba ko na ye na ne e fe ni so say process ni nyina you be our done no. enti sɛ ɛtotima who here class or be books up and send the brain if I know down on our friend street. No, I day, only like a can. And you know, as soon as you say, you're 500. Yes, so I could tell a beer, was see no who could see a Fabra, not saying 500 being could was in a corner fire. Yes, select enough fire. This is for enough fire. Medical for one qua, almost a check it, said yeah. Ampa obi wa yare bia na se ebia okọ training na nsusu aso born in betumi aba o mo hwesa na mani nyina enti sa stage no e process no sa stage na ya du no onipa na obeka se ebia Kwadwo na obenche qualify na bedu no qualify one na wasi so no mu so bia nye de desem bia so what na me kire na se enti no wo hwe se ne minister na kan ya no na enya dia sabe kadwese edru sabe because you see uma national army amanfo hu so omo kra na omo qualify eno so wa afem kase ba ko da ho a wase ka ho afem what na me kire na say it me feel say me ni o ma ne bo ama e de ma bi say ne de me ma dwe mu die kaya yenka no public sa e bi say I basa na it say sabe ya anfo so no kra sabe o na na mo ni ma kwasanko bifuro bi na sabi wo mu what na me kire na say omo qualify ya kofa won yes omo ko training ntino ya chewo chewo tunti ani omo kam etina aba ne fa ya ma aminu adimunyam ne chani ebu won na eso e dai what na me kire na say ana sam na ho kan no so no enya de ebi nsi da obi o hono ma obeta process ni nyina me bi ana test no no afeli enti obi o hono ma enam so wa training na ye no ofeli test na the typical trainer say ye man akonya say e bia kan na koye wie I think intake 33 intake 34 no so after me 50 years and o mo na nko also mo kan intake 33 for no no o mo antini e bia antini am pass o mo exams into o be ye intake 34 de o mo da so wo system no enti anya dia e bia enu ya na sa ne ma na ye de ABC but of course the point be CBA no system no obi a wodanim de timi expose no menkasa ebia Ghana enforce do ba bi obi ntimi compromise no stand no menkasa but enya dia eye no sane ebe bie no twere no because one mo niama yo no entise yenya experience na yemfa mla any order enya djuma no entisa na miminim
sesia no o Roma ne bo amaka se or commission and commission and investigations into the recruitment. And Fishemua ababeto ejano sesiano.
Happy FM.
Obaji anasa obajia tumse e wose yetumi emane babonten na wonu mo hu bo mu no yetumi publicly ebombo dini na so twe hono ye dia mom.
Ena meka fe Fishemu na woye no. Findings na obeka no public and I'm seeing nka me na minya akonya se mitu faka se honde nka onche ma on kana ansa e bi se ana medical ka say nya first time we bi asinye so what ta je to da bi obi okura oni wo community okoche afrafo nta de ne ba wo ma ya se asan yinadi wo bi da e sida because we say a process no so nya ni pa ba ko stage dia ni omo ye hu adwuma of course any pa hu adwuma nti nya bibia 100% but we will gidi wa Ghana forces who say even tanya man for ka say protocol list won ni ade no ukọ na do stage bi na won qualifier we will gidi say tanya omo system tie no any say ni omo pese omo tabi ompo mo ni nyam ho ban no ombe ma wo ababonte minimum na fofo bia omo ko ya onko share uniform ba ye me kai pa ombe de uniform no bede na me akire yi ase na hu ombio o mu nyina na yi omodi wo ya yi omodi enti no enya dia esepe na esi was fan e man de tesi debia
kwamba ne be fa so betimi aso ano
ne tia ne se ye betimi aso ano se ye be so ano completely de emma so ana medical ka kire no e betimi aba se wo ko ye no ye se obi anfa BC nkwa na emra wo qualify the country first you nan kasa no wa pass o mo hwe wo body no so send ye wo ti a fisiofo yi o ma ba check ye so wo obi a wo betumi aye adwuma no medical for no and so aba and to say to so and you know saba could be a young for so and on I am and so yes ebia dodo na no akoba ne say bia obi be say wholesale promotion bi na say recruitment na say enlistment bi na ekoso enya de test the prince and you know the person so no enya de difficult one more system on qualify a computer and crack out the ever rejected. I don't know who pass a more investigation here and Busa or my only say I'm for no more mamma casa.
Okay.
But one more system who apply and dear man Koya computer nankasa now system nankasa be rejected and your first area meaning. You know, you bet me a son. You bet me a thing na say better year. Na yama near mam de good musi a so say bema yɛde afa as platform no yɛbɛdi so na ayɛ adwuma pɛpɛɛpɛ na politicians no nso agya wɔn influence no ɛne wɔn bi a wɔn bɛka so wɔde miniani abusuani fa no hyɛ mu ne saa nneɛma no yɛbɛsɔ no yɛsɔ no a mesin sɛ saa nsɛnsɛ wɔ nyinaa anya de bi si
ɔwura pɔ bɔ atema mena wasɛ na pɛ sɛ ɔgya pini na ɔne happy morning show twitwi nkɔmɔ
lɛsɛ da was
ɔwura pɔ bɔ aten ɛna ate sɛ no twitwi nkɔmɔ hɔ no wɔyɛ obi a wonim ɛde ɛwɔ ahobambɔ ɛho ɛnsɛm mu ɛwɔ man Ghana mu any abimamu enyina de ebano security matters here. One of the go-to people. Ghana for 0551 563916 0555 65727 producer say you was back when numna yan fanso jumadins. Good morning, Udini baby Afrifi.
Honorable Sefah. Jaboko.
Obade Adaroma Sakura.
No Sunday come me now holding.
Asumjin Council.
C'est pas des ministères. Tu sais, il peut venir au last one. You go through into the system. You do this, you don't have problem. The system no work. You use the system. Oh, sometimes you have a creative problem. My who? At the end, the system no work. DMB. Second, electricity as sema okay. Because companies are kese omuye juma Ghana. And a year ton light and yes, I know.
Yeah, no correct.
Oh, dear, almost fixed price do. Fixed price look at that can who be a call. That's catch a CKC. Only dear and call baby I say call. He says the same new kata make it a prepared Nikota, your money system HS air cost. You can look or see. And so company can say, only the own tisao, and you're fixing price in any more you. Dinner, this catch said, no, the Alcobi dear, I said, only the system MPT. It was beyond the world, say, almost yes, Cassie. All the problem now, no more electricity for Munam, fear. Yeah, you should let it be no more higher. We can cry no more than Nipa Cocoa. Such a fear we would do with soya.
I want to say, Sakura, Yankwa, good morning. Good evening, baby Afrifi. Hello, good morning, baby Afrifi.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Or in the popular Nana Kwadwo Sefah-Danquah.
Tutu Patinier.
Ashima Suba Canable.
Tutu Patinier. Yanko.
Ashima Suba Canable.
Ghana Futier.
That's it. The Pacho, Yamina, only the DSA, the Pacho, at a room, Mamma, within the same.
Yamma, baby.
No, the Chichin Common Studios is here.
Fatty.
Okay, we'll call regular.
Aye.
Sorry. What's on now? Who are you?
No, ya pa.
No, sorry.
No, ya pa.
Okay, open the channel to practice the channel pa. Me penny vim. In the popular Nana Kwadwo Sefah-Danquah. Also, I'm about you for some. I mean, I can't find military recruitment in this animal. Me, my job, me. Uchedian for Yako Probasaya Domede and Fanny Clancy, mammy. Me papa who at the same was some of that way a job. Now, no, or your military man. Me papa, no, you're Sujani. I know a sniper. Two chairs. When see class one cracker. Ye pacho, ye papa one school, or ye illiterate. Na no ni miansa papa. So military be say, about the center, illiterate we call military.
Unim, can it get no? I know be say I know your Bajini bread. And a woman I said to play your Sagini in Yajuma, in Jamaya, who namely Brem and Brusso. And then the same, and institution to set military. Yeah, they almost belong for any academic Yamaniaman and the military. Our brother, a planning, almost could do for a while one day, a bit more questioning any military. And then the book. Ojama military man cry corrupt. Usman military man or Galamsey site or Kojiji Kefa. That you feel say the king papa on the street, they recruit you on the military, and you are Cambodia, and you live on. And you dance to flat up process. You can't be so much to be funny to my friend.
This is what you want to say. Mamma, a final caller, Principal Papa in Brown. Ojina Consul was Ojina Cunha. 0555 657 I mean, can we say a happy almost because the 31st of July 2025. Yabeko Yeno Abose Ukai and Yakudi a young Como who here. Soka Besamin Cow says Soka chance over Modiana found Kuku Remo selected 10 or more matches. Now we are also no money at 1.3 and above. You're good to go. Unina Bonaba Kwama Ayadea. Yabema usika na dise mu home and sa Jama washing powder. It's your partner for clean look to be na fie na o de could do fia wa be hu say emphasis kaka pa and also a te a ye wonta de nani ema emu eda ho kama mu hwa no ejina so ankasa ye frame nyankumpasa chi nana chenchen hene na Kwadwo Sefah-Danquah me fa na se ema the entire production team Principal Papa in Brown, Reynolds, Ajiman, the rapper Fatisha Boli, Bismarck Brown, Miriam Akwete, Joel Sanko, George Shakafo, no dear co-abba so the news team, digital team, and the operations team, and from and no pay. Yeah, Yamepa China Akasimadu, I'm on Shamba Bassine about champion the another edition of the Happy Morning Show. Eddie abroad. Yes, also happy. Sports is up next. In Chima Fidian Fan Concoto. Baby Fufu Biabio.
Big go. Big go. Hey, number one everywhere you go. Big go. For the friends and the family. Big go. Refreshing moment. Big go. For the kids and the adults. Big go. Boys and girls with a drink up. Big go. Everywhere they party day. Big go. We go mash up the place with it. Big go. Greatest in every battle.